Support for today's Missin Curfew episode comes from Manscaped. Father's Day is just around the corner, fellas. Actually, I'm a dad now, so I should know that. And you probably need a gift for your hairy old man. Make your dad proud this year, boys, and get him and yourself the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0, an ultra-smooth package. You know what they say, Obes?
Father like son. Updogg, you are dad, but I know one thing, you are fucking smooth, buddy, but you can still use it. The brand new Lawnmower 4.0 and the Ultra Smooth package is perfect for you and the dad in your life to complete your grooming game. Get 20% off, free shipping with the code CURFEW at manscaped.com.
Being a dad these days, boys, I got to make sure I'm taking care of that dad bod, and the lawnmower is perfect for making sure my chest is looking baby smooth, and that's what I've been doing lately. And it's even better that it works in the shower with the flashlight. So if you want to get crazy, turn the lights off. Who knows? Manscaped's got you dialed in.
Yeah.
I saw you at that pool party in Vegas, Hazy. You've been using that Manscaped trimmer quite well. I mean, I couldn't see, the back hair or anything. I was more just cheersing you beers at the pool. But Obes, I don't know about your old man. My old man, Big Scott be using this all day long. I'm telling you.
I mean, Pitter could use it. The only thing Pitter ever had growing up really was the chest hair. He's got the long chest hair. He's still got it. He needs the fucking Lawnmower 4.0, Pitter. So I'll give him a shout out. Maybe I am going to send him one for Father's Day. Pitter, trim up that chest hair, buddy. You got to need the Manscaped.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CURFEW at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at our boys manscaped.com and use the code CURFEW.
It's dad body season. Time to get smooth.
Smoothie Douglas.
Babe, don't make a sound. 2 a.m. low, gotta keep it down. Don't wait around for a signal now. Give me some verb, I ain't talking now. You wanna ride in the 6? You wanna down?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a fresh new episode of Missin Curfew. Although it's not too fresh because the boys just got back from Las Vegas. I'm Shane O'Brien.
And I'm Scotty Upshaw, Obes.
The Updogg. We got a great podcast for our listeners tonight. We are going to dive into how many fucking bananas Sidney Crosby's made. The World Championships, Canada shoving it up our ass. Montreal Canadiens. The final thoughts on the North Division. Thank fuck it's over. Tea time segment and a new segment from our good friends at GoodLife calling, pulling the goalies out too quickly. So, Updogg, you're looking good, baby, like you always do.
I feel fresh, bro.
Whoa.
I feel fresh. It feels like Monday after just an excellent weekend, where you still kind of got you still got that energy and that vibe from the trip. You're talking about all the things and the fun shit you did, and man, it's just nice to be in the studio again. A little later than usual. Yeah. It's 3:30. We got the Tampa Bay game. The Tampa Carolina match.
Tampa Carolina.
Who do we got? We got Carolina.
We got Carolina.
As they're just buzzing.
At home plus 105. We had to take them. I just don't think they're going to lose at the final game. They will lose game 6.
Do or die. I like them in this match. And so if you see us explode here on camera, that's because they score and we're fucking buzzing.
Speaking of do or die, there were some do or die moments in Vegas there over the weekend for me where I was like, either I push through here or I go back to my suite and shut her down. But we're going to get into Vegas. But real quick, thank you to Tom Riley, who's an absolute beauty, Todd Pickup, the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, what an organization. First class. Shane Knighty, Gary Lawless, you, A-Hall, our boy Maxie. We're going to get into Vegas, but what a weekend.
Thank the cheerleaders who came by with the drum set. What they do on the concourse level before the game at the Vegas Golden Knights, in that T-Mobile Arena is awesome.
Yeah.
It's hockey 101. Playoff time. Energy was buzzing. I just hope everyone back home, and by back home, I mean in Canada, is watching that, realizing just what they're missing. Playoff hockey with that atmosphere, Obes, is what it's all about. I
sent a video to my boy Steve Koulis on game 3 when after we did our show, we got to the suite and it was just starting to get going. I sent him a little video being like, Koulis. And he just texts back, you motherfucker. So I got a little IV story first. So I had IVs lined up in Vegas. I only got one of the 2. So today when I woke up this morning, I was obviously had the cobwebs going. So the hydration room again, shout out to Doctor. He was there, Brett.
Yeah, Brett Fiore.
Great guy.
Member at Big Canyon.
So I get in there, I'm talking to the girl. I'm obviously in one uppy, and it's pretty busy. We weren't the only people that had a fucking weekend. Hydration room was fuck. I was like, fuck, I don't have an appointment. So I'm talking to the girl, and obviously I'm loud, and I got the raspy voice going, and I'm just like, hey, can you make sure you put Toradol in that shot? Like
Toradol.
Yeah. Lots of it. And then I hear from a guy like
John Tortorella.
Yeah, I hear from a guy in the back corner. I'm like, he's like, that stuff will kill you. And I'm like, I can't see his face. I'm like, well, the way I feel right now, I wouldn't give a fuck if it did. I didn't say fuck, but I'm like, if it did, I wouldn't even care. So I go in, I get my IV thing, I come sit down. Who's in the corner but Freddie Couples?
Oh, Freddie.
Fucking boom, boom. So I'm like, Freddie, what's up, buddy? And he's hurt a little bit. And I knew he played last weekend. And he said, I'm a little stiff and under the weather from traveling and playing last weekend. And I wasn't going to play the next weekend, but I bumped into Steve Stricker, and Strixie's like on the range last week was like, you're coming, right? And he's like, fuck, how do I say no to Steve Stricker? So I'm in here getting an IV trying to rally before I leave. What are you doing here? And me and Uppy went to Vegas for game 3 and 4. And he said, of course you did. But he's watched the series. He was impressed with the way Vegas played in game 3 and 4. He asked me about game 5 tonight. And he had Joe LeCobb on his bag last week, and Joe's a big Rangers fan. So Freddie said he played golf during the day, and him and Joe after the round last week, I don't know where the tournament was, they watched hockey and hung out because obviously Tiger's on the shelf, so he took Tiger's caddy. So shout out to Freddie.
Shout out to Freddie, because playoff time a couple years ago, may or may not have told this before.
Tell it again.
But Freddie Couples is a hockey fan through and through, Obes. He was texting me and my boys in the St. Louis Blues the year we went to the conference finals. After every win, I would go in the beer room, which is where, we have this big ass Bud Light fridge for, Budweiser, St. Louis thing. And we'd sit there with the recliners, all the kids on the team, the guys' sons would be in there shooting pucks, Vladdy's kids, Steiner, So anyway, good little vibe in there after the wins. And there would be the text from Freddie. How about them Blues? And I just I'd end up sending him a little voice message or a video of the boys like, hey, Freddie. And man, he sent us, I think we had almost, 11, 12 wins. We almost made it to the finals that year, lost to San Jose. But Freddie, big fan, and what a gem.
Just a beauty. And just a big sports guy in general. Like the rounds that we have been lucky enough to play with him, we talk golf, but he talks every kind of sport. And then he had his, I don't think it's his wife, beautiful girlfriend. Is he married to that? Yeah, I don't know. So she was there. She was getting IV too. And she's big into the ladies softball championships that are on ESPN right now. And I was actually in between hockey games, watched a little bit of it yesterday, and it's pretty good atmosphere. So Freddie Couples, he wants to tee it up with us. He's just been busy. So
one thing I did want to say about Vegas.
Yeah.
I realized I still got my dancing legs.
Yeah.
I might not have my hockey legs, though, but shit, could I move up there?
You got your dancing legs.
I was not stopping that one night.
No, you're light right now.
I was backstage, and shout out to my boys, Loud Luxury, couple good Canadian kids who put on a hell of a show. And that Omnia Club's one of the best clubs in Vegas.
Fuck, was it loud in there, man.
Was it loud?
I came out of there and it felt like I got maybe hit in the head with a puck or something. My ears were fucking ringing. That was one of the loudest clubs I've ever been in. And that made me realize that I'm getting a little long in the tooth. Because I was like almost like get me out of here kind of thing. But it was great. Speaking of Vegas, Uppy, there was a tweet, Sidney Crosby, highest paid hockey player ever, $129 million. We could have used fucking Sid the Kid in Vegas for some of those tabs.
That's a lot of chips.
What were your thoughts? Like, I knew he made a lot of cash, but I didn't think he had made that.
Is that just up to date? Like right to today?
I don't know. Did he get a signing bonus or something like yesterday? But he's the highest paid hockey player of all time.
And by rights.
Yeah.
Our generation owes 3 cups, golden goal for Canada, the Olympics. He's been a pioneer for the evolution of hockey and how it's played with the old, 10-2 skating and getting real low and powerful, and just a good two-way player. One of the best of our, best of ever. So
best of our era.
He deserves that cash.
And he got paid like it. And speaking of 10-2, Makar was learned from Sidney Crosby because the Avs were brutal, but Makar had the 10-2 going the whole night. We were in the suites, which we're going to get to, and he can skate. So to Sid the Kid, I don't really know you, but if you're ever around,
take the Big Canyon.
I'll tell you what, you want to play golf and take the boys out, let us know. So that kids, hey, one to the young kids out here, if you're working hard, hockey players, we don't get paid like football players, but baseball players, but Sid the Kid, so keep working. The World Championships ups. We fucking were shitting all over these guys right away. Even Cooley was shitting on it. Guys didn't go over. They lost to Latvia. I was sitting in this exact chair fucking ripping them, being like, that's embarrassing. You could take a junior team over there. They got her done. They beat Finland in the finals. They beat USA in the semis. They beat Russia in the quarters. That's a pretty good run there. Just what were your thoughts? Shout out, obviously, to our boy Gerard Gallant. Let's start with Turk. I mean,
we called it.
Yeah.
He's the man for the job. You get a 2-week tournament. Kids come in. I felt like I didn't know half the people on that team.
No.
And didn't even know their names. Usually, you might know a young kid here and there, hear about them. man, when I looked at that lineup, the joke was, shit, I could play on that squad. Well,
You probably could have.
you know what? Kudos to them. What they did after, I think it was 2-0 loss to Latvia in game one, 5-0 shit kick into USA in the second game. They lose the third. They go on to have just an incredible, consolation rounds. The overtime goal by Magnampon.
That kid was
I keep seeing
unbelievable.
Luch talk about him.
Yeah,
so
he plays in Calgary.
So
He played
anyway,
on-
good on him. MVP of the tournament. Shout out to him. OT goal against Russia in the quarters. A big win against the USA in the semis. And then, man, just a golden goal by Nick Paul to close it out for Canada. Big Gord Miller. Shout out to him.
Backdoor tap in.
Shout out to him with the call. It was an epic call. Backdoor tap in. Actually, if you watch the whole play happen from the faceoff in their own zone, it's incredible how they get the puck. A lost draw, they get the puck and they just skate down 2-on-1 and put it away, man. It's huge for Canada. I felt like we needed a world championships under our belt. It's been a while.
I mean, good on him. And that goal you were talking about, how about the move by Troy Stetcher? Backhand, Toey between the legs, cross ice to that boy from Calgary. I'm not going to try to butcher his name and the game's over. Now, listen, I like Troy Stetcher. He works hard. I'll tell you what, he never made that play in Vancouver for 2 years or last year in Detroit. But for those kids, good on him. The Buffalo Sabres won the first overall pick. They're going to take this kid, Owen Power, who played in that tournament. And his first game, he played 3 minutes. By the end of the tournament, he was playing 20, 21 minutes. He's 6'6". He can skate like Hedman, they're saying. So if he's the next Hedman, Buffalo, better days ahead. So, and what about our boy Sweet Lou? There was a picture with him with the cup.
Oh, he looked pumped up,
He had
didn't
the
he?
beard going, the hair slicked back. First time GM. Come on the show, Lou.
Has he tweeted since?
I don't know. Maybe he's still drunk over there in Latvia.
Yeah,
Hey,
hopefully.
did he make her home?
Hopefully. Well, he can't be too drunk. Turk was texting us back. We sent Turk a little message from Vegas. Said, we're in your old stomping grounds at the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting here. It was before the gold medals game. Good luck, Turk. Sure enough, they win it. He sends the boys a message back, and
He's a team
he's a team guy. So he's gonna be head coach this year, Obes, no matter where it is, and a team's gonna be lucky to have him. Hopefully, it's a good veteran team ready to win.
That is Gerard Gallant in a nutshell, right? They get pumped. They're 0-3 at the start, and it's probably because he's not the biggest in X and O's guy, right? So maybe they're quarantined, they get over there. It's hard to, but he's good in the room, and he made that team fucking come together. And for me, I wrote him off. So boys, I'm sorry. Way to make us proud, you guys. Adam Henrik was a captain. Congratulations to him. Bobby Lou, first GM, first win. I think you should come on and talk to the boys. And Gerard, you're an absolute beauty. So congratulations, boys. Updogg, the Montreal Canadiens. We got a little play here. Savard.
No, I don't think it was. I think it's a TV timeout.
Oh, okay. They bounced the Winnipeg Jets. They swept them. I watched the game last night. 2,500 fans were going crazy. I just want to get your thoughts on. I did on the Sirius XM before Game 5. We had a couple French guys on that were saying if they lose this game, which everyone thought they're going to do to the Toronto Maple Leafs, that Marc Bergeron was done. Carey Price may have played his last game in Montreal. They win Game 5, and the rest is history. Like, that's when you talk about how close playoff hockey is. Like, they were, one game away from blowing this team up, and now they're going to the Stanley Cup semifinals.
There's stories like that. I feel like there's a story like that every year, and there has to be because playoff time. There's so many teams that are expected to do big things, Obes, and then there's teams that aren't. There's teams that sneak in, and usually if you sneak in the playoffs, you've had a little bit of a rocky year. You haven't nothing went perfect. Maybe you had a good stretch here and there, but then you went on a little slide. I felt like the Montreal Canadiens were that this year. They had glimpses of wow, this team's really taking the next step. And they'd go on and they'd be iffy, and Carey Price isn't playing his best, then he gets hurt. Jake Allen comes in. I think Jake Allen should get should be praised for the job he did down the stretch, keeping them in games and stealing games for them. And I love Jakey. I think he's been a great pickup for that team. But I still think unless this team goes and wins the cup, which, we're all going to doubt them again, but who knows what happens. That Carey Price is no longer a Montreal Canadian. That's my opinion.
This is it.
This is it for him. And I think it's time that they move on. I think it's time he wants to move on. He deserves the right to maybe play a couple years somewhere else, whether that's somewhere close to his home, just somewhere out of the Montreal limelight. Now, if he wins a Stanley Cup and brings a Stanley Cup to Canada and into Montreal, wow, it's a game changer.
They would let him go.
They would
if he
just
gets
say,
it done, he say, "Hey, we'll buy your
sail
fucking
away.
free private bird right to Seattle for you."
Jump on that
price.
Elon Musk fucking spaceship to Mars. Maybe be the first player to sign up in the fucking space.
You bring up Carey Price, and I saw one of his press conferences in between, blackjack hands and hockey games and God knows what else we were doing. And I saw an interview that he said, and they talked about him being in the zone and all this, and he just said, "This is fun." And the look in his eyes, and then he's like, "This is fun." So he's in the zone. I want to talk to you about, so they're going to get a break, and we'll get into the Winnipeg Jets, but they're going to get a break. But the top 4D for the Montreal Canadiens are playing so much. Your boy Edmondson, I want to give this kid love. I don't know him. I bumped into him one time at a concert. He was with Big Bobble. But listen, this kid's got a great active stick. His feet are better than people think. His first pass is good. He's been unbelievable for the Montreal Canadiens. So to him, good on you, fella. But this top 4D are tired. They're playing a lot of minutes up. Either 5, 6 don't play, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think over time that will cost you. But is this rest going to be good for them?
It wasn't good for the Winnipeg Jets, Obes.
Yeah.
Is it going to be good for them when they jump in a building that has 20,000 screaming fans, whether it's Colorado or Vegas? Maybe. Carey Price is probably looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Right? He loves you know how he plays in the playoffs. He loves the limelight. So I think that rest those boys. Shea Webb's, he plays a lot of minutes on those knees, right? There's no question he's been hurt over the years, but I think you're right. Those guys have lagged a lot of minutes. Carey Price has stopped a lot of fucking rubber.
Yeah, Webb's has been awesome.
And you know what? Rest up, boys, because their boys are coming at you from Vegas or from Colorado.
Yeah.
Those teams live, and we'll talk about it, are legit. Probably the two best teams that I've seen play hockey against each other in a long, long time. I haven't seen Tampa play live lately. They look great, but man, Vegas played some of the best hockey I've seen a team play the last couple of weeks.
I agree. I will say one thing about Vegas. You played there. I never played there. I was always like, fuck, I don't have the self-discipline. I know if I was in Vegas, I would go out. I'd have to play guilty. Well, I'll tell you what, your hangover would be over at the start of fucking warm-up. And we're going to get into that, but that place gets rocking. Corey Perry, what can you say about this guy? We were talking about him over the weekend. Loops was talking about him. Mackel was talking about him. I mean, is he slow? Yes, but he's getting it done, and he's another playoff guy, and I think he's earned another contract, even if they lose next round to Colorado or Vegas. Yeah,
you know him more than me, Obes, and I had him at training camp in Dallas last year, and basically, I just love what he brings. Yeah. I love the fact that if he's on your team, you're like, fuck yeah, we got Worm. Look at him fucking go. Look at the team chirp him. He was like, he was so much different than Steve Ott.
Look at the team chirp him.
Like so much different than Otter in so many ways. But Otter had this like presence about him that he always he knew when to step up and do something. He didn't go and do something dumb. He just knew how to play, and he played the right way, and it was something that your team fed off of. And Corey Perry, man, the success he's been having in the playoffs proves that, some guys like this, they're gamers. They should be valued as that come playoff time. They should be given another opportunity, another chance to win. And Corey Perry, the last couple of years, man, has been a really effective fucking force on good hockey teams that are successful and that play fucking hockey hard in the right way. So kudos to him. He's not done scoring goals either. He's going to be a big factor down the stretch here for these guys.
Ed Pears, I love you. You're probably not listening, but if you are, get those legs moving a little bit quicker for Vegas or Colorado, though, buddy, because they back pressure a little bit harder than the Winnipeg Jets. But
did you see when his stick flew over the glass?
Who, Pears?
Last game? It was great.
I don't think
the guy pinched up on him on the red line as the D was like shooting it up to him, and he was going to tip it, and the guy just fucking whacked his stick, and it flew over the glass, and he's looking around. No one knows where it is. And fucking, then the fan kindly brought it over. But the fans were fucking 25 rows up. Figure it out, Bell Center.
I think, by the way, did you think it looked like there was more than 2,500 in there, which I hope there was. And I'm sorry, Montreal, I'm not snitching on you. I hope there was, but it seemed like a decent little atmosphere in there.
And the OT goal when they zoomed out.
Yeah, because they had the electronic towels going on.
Yeah, but the glass is there. No one's fucking giving the players code.
I'll tell you where it is going off. It was outside the barn. Did you see the French Canadians out there?
I did, with the poutine and the fucking French laundry.
They wanted to get rowdy after the game. They were just itching to get rowdy because they've been locked down. But and Toffoli, Uppy, I questioned his foot speed at the start of the year. Who cares? He can score. He can. You were a guy that had a good release. I mean, he can shoot the fucking puck.
If you watch that shift alone, and then every other shift that either he takes or just the goal scorer, Obes. They weave in and out and they go to the open areas and they just want to, like, watch Pasternak, and I zoomed in and ISO-cammed him yesterday in his game. He just continually like circles around and lets Marchand and Bergeron do their thing, win their puck battle, fucking make a play, and then he's lost himself in open ice and he's fucking just off-season shoulder surgery. He's shooting the puck so many times.
It's true.
I just would go right to the net, stay there, and be like, fucking shoot the puck.
It's like, he's like, I'm not going to work. I don't have to work hard. Bergeron and Marshy I'm just going to go out here and stay high. But it's true, and it's not a knock to Pasternak.
No,
I love him.
It's
and
a talent.
We're going to get into some of the cool stuff he's been doing, but Bergeron and listen, say what you want. We'll get into the Bruins, but Marshy, I mean, that guy hunts fucking pucks. Bergeron is always in the right place. And like you said, Pastor finds that quiet area, and that's what Toffoli did last night in the winter.
Yep.
Cole Caulfield, the poor fucking Winnipeg Jets were getting in there. Coop's the guy's name, and you know this as a forward too. I know this as D-man. You go into that scrum, and you just get on the wrong side of the puck, and it bounces over your stick. And
Kopsky,
and you're fucked. Good little pass. So Montreal Canadiens, thank you, Uppy. We are proud to be Canadian boys. Fort McMurray, Port Hope, Ontario. I've been to Fort McMurray. You took a piss on the LCBO in Port Hope. So,
sure did.
I mean, listen, I love Canada. I love being where I'm from. I love my family. But the North Division is over. Thank fuck. I'm going to go first. NHL, you fucked it up. I don't know if it could have been handled any differently, but the North Division, it stunk. I watched it all year. There was no fans. Thank goodness Connor McDavid had the year he did, because that was the highlight of it, and Austin Matthews. They got into playoffs. The Leafs lost in 7. The Oilers got swept. Then the Jets get swept. I just think, I get it. It was because of COVID. I'm happy it's over. I never want to see it again. Congratulations to the Montreal Canadiens on the North Division being over. And Uppy, I don't know what your thoughts, but that's how I feel about it.
Well said. It's a joke.
It was just a joke.
I haven't been home in fucking a year because of this. It's 14-day quarantine still. Let's figure it out. Let's get the people who are vaccinated or need to be vaccinated, get them vaccinated. Let the people live again. So, and go watch a hockey game because it's awesome.
That Big Scott and what's your mom's name again?
Mandy.
Mandy has not met your beautiful daughter. Is
crazy.
Come on, man. But anyways, that's what we'll try to say. We take some heat on Twitter.
I don't care.
We get some people saying, O'Brien, Upshaw, you guys are fucking idiots. And other people are like, Obie, run for Premier of Ontario.
Yeah, but those idiots are just, they're sheep.
To the North Division, listen, I guess you got it done, but I'm glad it's over. Montreal, congratulations. Updogg, our one of our segments throughout the playoffs, Tea Times, presented to you by Oura Ring.
Oura Ring. You got the ring,
I can only get
Obes.
it on my fucking little...
By the way, if you have a meat cleaver like Obes, you got the size 13 ring, it's only fitting on that pinky.
They all doing the ping.
You know what they say about guys with big pinkies? Can't fit rings on them.
Can't fit rings on them. Tea Time segment presented to you by Oura Rings. Uppy, thank you for my ring. I love it. You're going to have to show me how to set it up on my phone afterwards. The Winnipeg Jets, I think they have a great head coach in Paul Maurice. I thought when they played Edmonton, they cost me $1,000 because I put them to win the series and they didn't. What are your thoughts on the Jets? And I guess first and foremost, was the Scheifele hit the difference, and how is he feeling right now? What do you think?
I really like the way their team played and shut down Edmonton, but then again, you're really only shutting down one line when you play Edmonton, so really hard to gauge that. Edmonton, tough go. Winnipeg, you got screwed. You got screwed by what's an unfortunate hockey play and a split-second decision that was talked about forever and will always be in that city. I think Scheifele got the short end of the stick, although, we always talk about Evans and being hurt, and that's an unfortunate situation. But that's a hockey play, Obes, and 4-game suspension to me takes him right out of the series, gives the series pretty much, the upper advantage to Montreal. They took advantage of it, give them credit, but without Scheifele, and that goal scoring ability and the playmaking ability, and he does it all on both sides of the puck. I felt like Wheeler and our boy that shoots the puck like better than anyone I've seen, Connor. That line didn't do much.
I know why.
And there was no one to fill that spot, and it was a demoralizing thing to deal with. And then you could tell Paul Maurice wanted to kind of I listened to his interview before Game 4, and he's like, maybe getting the guys ready tonight I might have to say a joke or two. I might have to be comical about this. I got to get these guys feeling loose. That was a down group. They were upset that this kid wasn't playing and that they got fucked. And quite frankly, I think they did.
Yeah. And we don't need to talk about the hit anymore because we have, but I do want to talk about everyone we've talked to have had different situations on, different
views,
different opinions on it, right? 90, Lawless, Loophole. I mean, they've been on and on. Guys we talked to in Vegas about it. Some were saying it's clean, some were saying it's dirty. So they missed Scheifele. I thought Hellebuck played well. I think Price outplayed him, obviously. And I think, in my opinion, the Winnipeg Jets, we talk about the Montreal Canadiens back end, how they don't have an offensive guy really, like a pure offensive D-man. I think the Winnipeg Jets could use one guy that kind of, I don't know, that has a little more offensive ability that can jump in the play. I guess that Morrissey can a little bit.
Yeah, he played great against Edmonton. Like, I mean, some of the best hockey I've seen, and I compared him to like Kimmo Timonen because he was doing it all. He was a little suspect in the next round, and maybe all that time off, maybe he was hitting the sauce or he's golfing too much or something, or he's locked himself inside his house, which could kill a guy for 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah, to Scheifele, did I ever tell you my Scheifele story
in Vancouver?
In Vancouver, we're at the bar, and
did he
shout out to Peter Gurgis.
Did he pull out his credit card?
We're at West Oak.
West Oak.
And flowers, typical flowers, right? We get some champagne, and he's sitting up there with all the chicks drinking the bottle of champagne, Dom, out of the bottle. So I grabbed that out of his fucking hand, give him a little smack, and then Scheifele shows up with Webbs, Scheifele, the D-man Bellevue or Belbo that used to play in Montreal, now is in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So anyways, they sit down and they start just, Scheifele don't even know drinks, but his buddies start slugging the vodka. Like, I mean, one time, these guys play in the American League, they play in the Jungle or Coast, and I'm like, I pull Scheifele aside, I'm like, hey kid, like, either throw your credit card down or tell these fucking rookies to get the fuck out of here because they're chugging my vodka. So that was the only time I met him. But keep your head up, learn from it. But I mean, he's got to be feeling really shitty, man. Like
that's going to be a tough summer, man. That's
a long.
They had a chance to get out of the North, I think, as good as anyone with that player in his lineup. In their lineup.
And you say this all the time, and this is why you're a great playoff guy. Like you never want to let your teammates down, and like he's got to be feeling that way. And I don't wish that upon anyone. I don't wish that upon anyone because you work so hard and team hockey guys, you see the interviews they put up down here. Like it's all like we, there's no I in hockey. But anyways, have you ever played golf in Winnipeg? Where are they going to tee it up? Are they going to courses there?
I don't know. I used to go see Toots in Winnipeg, but fuck, I don't know.
No?
Is it? No.
Anyways, good luck next year, boys.
No big canyon.
Tee times. No, fuck, there's no big canyon. You know what? That Wynn golf course looks pretty nice. I could see it outside of my suite in Vegas.
Yeah.
You ever played that track? I know it's not Discovery, but
you know what? I've only played golf one time in Vegas, and that was like 2 months ago. But when I go there, it's for a fucking time. I'm not going to golf.
No, me either. That was our well said. That was our tea time segment brought to you by our good friends at Oura Rings. Check these out. I got it on my finger. It feels good. I mean, it barely gets on there, but I'm
Wait
excited.
till you get some sleeps under your belt with that thing.
Good thing I didn't have this in Vegas.
I did. The one morning, it was funny.
It said, go to bed. Yeah. We have another segment brought to you by our good friends at GoodLife. This segment's called Pulling Out. It has to do
Pulling out.
It has to do with
for all you single guys out there. You better pay attention.
For all you guys that are out there chasing the bars, make sure you pull out all the time. Pulling the goalies way too early, Uppy. I talked to Loops.
Pulling the goalies. We're talking.
I talked to Loops about it a little bit in Vegas. Mac L. They're pulling these goalies at the 3-minute mark of these games, and for me, I'm old school. I know it goes into analytics. But for me, man, all it takes is one little bounce over your twig, and next thing you know, you're down 2. Now, I guess you still have 3 minutes to get 2, but why not try to wait till the minute and a half mark, minute? Because once they score that goal and you're down 2, it's basically over, in my opinion, Obs.
It's a good viewpoint, Obs. There is a big difference in the last couple of years on how these coaches have played this out. To me, I'm going to evaluate it on their side, and I'm going to say that, 3-minute mark, you have full control of the puck. Your best players are on the ice.
They're fresh.
Let's pull the goalie right now. Let's get 6 guys down in their zone, and let's tire them out and try to score a goal. If it goes a minute and a half, and either they ice the puck or the goalie covers it, my guys are tired, I can call a timeout. I can rest my good players, and they get to play another minute and 30. That is 3 minutes of the last 3 minutes with my best players on the ice. If I wait, a minute and a half, and I put my best players out there, and, they don't get a goal in that minute and a half, I only got to have them with 6 players on the ice for a minute or a minute and a half. I want to get my best players on the ice for as long as I can with a 6-man advantage. And that to me is probably why analytics shows, you know what? If you get the puck and you're in control and there's 3 minutes left, fucking pull the goalie and go score a goal. And if there's a bad bounce, that bad bounce would have happened with a minute and a half left or whatever. But, you know, best players on the ice is your best chance to score goals, in my opinion.
So that's a great point by you. So that's the risk reward.
Yeah,
that's what the
if that
coach
made
is saying.
sense, if people are listening, that made sense.
That makes sense because the coach is basically saying the risk is I'm going to pull the goalie with 3 minutes left, and that could bounce over fucking
Kucherov's
Stone's
stick,
Kucherov's
whatever.
stick. Never bounces over Kucherov's, but Stone's stick or whatever, and they score. But now this gives me 3 minutes, and like you said, a timeout in my back pocket that if we don't get one, I can rest my guys and get it going again. So that's
exactly it.
Okay, that's a great point by you. And I was often wondering, I knew it had to do with analytics, but I was like, fuck, that like it just pisses me off, especially if it's a team I got money on where the bounce of the guy's stick, it's in the net and the game's over. So it's a great point by you. I'm old school. You know I'm old school. I like that minute and a half. Minute and a half. Get them out. But
see, and I would say this. I would say, okay, it's 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
My top guys go out for a minute and a half, and they get chances. Puck gets cleared out. I want those guys to change Obes with a minute and a half left. I want my second unit to come on, and I want their first play is to put a puck on the net to get a puck stoppage. Put a puck on the net, get guys in front, get a puck stoppage. As soon as that puck stoppages, I get to call a timeout. My rest guys come on the ice with another minute and a half left. Kind of like I was saying, but my second unit's pure, like only role is to get control of the puck and get it on net and get havoc, and either the goalie covers it or you create chances, but
keep it down there.
Don't fuck around with it.
Get it
on net.
Keep it down there.
That's
a great point.
I should be a coach.
Wait, fuck, maybe it won't be, buddy. Maybe it won't be here. I think it does matter if it's 1 or 2 goals too. I'm sure there's analytics that go into that, but even with 2 goals, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. I mean, sometimes I saw regular season games. I granted
Like 5-6 minutes left.
Fuck the Boogeyman, Bobby Boogie one night pulled it with 5 minutes left in San Jose. I was
He
like,
just wanted the game to be over.
and I
so
love
he could
Boogie.
go.
I was like, holy fuck, that's a little early. But so our good friends at Good Life, sorry, that was a little segment called Pulling Out. Pulling the goalies way too early, but if you're in Vegas, especially, don't forget to pull out. Hey, don't forget to pull out.
Put one on and pull out.
Fucking pull and pray, boys. Updogg, we did thank the Vegas Golden Knights. We want to thank them again. We met their president, who was an absolute beauty. He came by to say hi. Our live show to Maxie and Albert, it was unbelievable. We were sitting there. We had McGregor and Poirier posted right there. I was getting goosebumps there. The fans were interacting. I had some Avalanche people come up and give us a shot. We had some Vegas fans come up and give us our shot. I thought it was a great live show. Did you have fun? It was amazing.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. We had a great setup. Thank you to them. We had
Yes.
a great spot in the concourse right next to the McGregor banner, which we got to go to that fight, by the way.
Yes, we're gonna.
Anyway, we're going to that.
We're gonna go to that. I was actually gonna talk to you about that off air, so I'm glad you want to go. I was gonna see
All
if you
right,
want
so we're
to.
going to go to that. And, just the atmosphere. It smelled like playoff hockey in there. You got the cold, you're in that rink again. For us, it'd been a while. For everyone, it's been a while, right? Especially
been a
people in
while.
Canada. So, you know what? Playoff atmosphere, the sound of hockey, the pucks, the hitting, the swearing, the atmosphere. We took the Golden Knights twice. And, thanks to them, my bookie's going to have to slide some cash over. So, anyway.
No, we bet them on DraftKings too, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we bet them on DraftKings.
Oh, huge.
Huge.
Took
on
them every
DraftKings.
which way.
Took them every which way on DraftKings.
Yeah, we did the hazy parlay special.
Yeah, we did do the hazy parlay special.
So
Fucking Broadway. I can't wait to get him on here, see how he's feeling. That 4-hour flight home to fucking Beantown must have stung a bit, I'll tell you that. Uppy, the one thing, it's like anything in life, the one thing I did learn from the live show is I don't think we can start without either beers on ice or some kind of mixed drink that's already ready. Because we sat down, and to big Gary Lawless, he came in guns a-blazing, didn't he?
He came in hot, Gary.
Fuck, he came in with his new blazer on, and he had that strut coming down the fucking, and he was coming. I'm
How
like,
was that top button feeling?
he was coming down.
That poor top button.
I said, Uppy, here comes the big Gary. Here comes Lawless in order. And he just had the stride coming. And you could tell he was stoked for the game. I thought, though, once we got our beer and the fans got in there, I thought it was just... And to the people that did listen, I had the computer there. And it's like so much more fun when you can join in. I know people are busy and stuff like that. But it's cool with the questions coming, right? Like they were asking Nides questions. They were saying stuff about you. One guy asked how long it made your hair to look that fucking good. Like cool stuff like that was awesome.
Yeah, people... Nides, by the way, Nides a beauty. He does such a great job.
They
on
call him the
color
sheriff. That's BX's nickname too.
Yeah,
but they call
we
him
know
that.
why.
Fuck.
I mean, Vegas, you need a sheriff around town.
Fuck, that was
Shit
nice.
gets crazy.
That was a National League suit he had on, wasn't it?
Yeah. He says his suits are a little tight now. He's been fucking best
looks
shape.
lean and mean.
Best shape he's been in since. Probably he's 25.
I texted him the next day. I said, "Hey, boys are heading to stadium swim. If you want to come over and catch a buzz." He said, got to put some time in with the family, which is
That place is a little
understandable.
bit of a shit show, wasn't it?
The crowd,
Good place to go watch sports, though.
to go watch sports. And if you're single and you're going to bring a crew with you, it's great. If you're married and you bring your wife, you get a cabana, it's great. But to watch sports, it's great. But the crowd that was in there was fucking greasy.
A greasy crowd.
Like greasy.
I mean, people, you want to just go find a pool to piss in, you just go right there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not fucking shredded by any stretch of the imagination, but there was people, wearing bathing suits there that they probably shouldn't have been wearing them. That's all I got to say about that.
That's
But
right.
to watch the games and to bet, they have swim up sports books. Shout out to our boy Darren Banks who hooked us up. So former hockey Banksy. But the actual place, it's the screen. How big is the screen, Uppy?
I mean, it's
like a jumbotron.
Yeah.
It's a
the
cool
size
place.
of,
We don't want to hate on the place because they helped us out.
It's the size of our boys' granny's titties, saggy titties.
Can I tell the story about when you talked him down from how much it was going to cost us?
Oh man, we don't need to. Our boy Banksy took care of it. But
care
yeah,
of it.
them not coming in and spending $4,000 to be stuck up in the back fucking corner. Not a chance. I'm like, you guys crazy? You were ready to just hand over the credit card.
Listen,
I was not letting you do it.
I needed shade, so it had to do with shade. Did I want to pay?
You were ready to spend $4,000 to get some shade.
To get the game on in there. It was a good setup once we got in there, but you made a great call to get them down to $2,000. It was a fair deal for both sides. I was just laughing at you, fucking being like, "We ain't paying," and then we were in there, like, "Get out." I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
If you don't act like you're going to leave, they'll just keep saying that they can't do anything.
It was great. It was great. It was a cool place. It was fun for us to kind of recover and get us going for Saturday night. Uppy, let's talk about the warm up in Vegas, man. It was so good that Sunday when we went for a burger before and we were getting the tickets from the beauty Tom Riley that you're like, and Mac L2 is like, let's get over there for warm up. So just talk for me. I yelled at you after the show. I said, Uppy, get the fuck down here and watch this warm up. I was a little upset that there was only 5 guys total on the ice wearing no buckets, but that warm up, man, it's like a club.
It was awesome. And shout out to Alex Petrangelo and his family. I saw all his little
good,
kids and his wife.
Good.
He played unreal.
And
you know what? Whoever's doing the tunes and warm up, great job.
Can you come to our July 4th party for us?
Yeah, totally.
It was
I'll
fun.
put you on the second floor of my house. I'll have, trust me, lots of entertainment and fresh drinks.
It was going.
You guys kill it. You rocking. MGM, our Sweet Obes was great.
Oh my God.
And you know what? You get in there, you get a couple of biscuits, a bar and out. It's playoff style atmosphere. You get the slick back flow. I know you and I would have fucking our perfect flow going.
I'm like, there should be more guys out there without a bucket on. Revo was out there in game 4 without one on.
Revo played
unreal. What a dish.
What a dish. But like, he controlled the puck. He was making plays. He's bringing the puck out of his zone. He's hitting his centerman and driving wide. He's doing everything. He must have been listening to Hitch back in the day.
He was great. And he came out, first guy off, knocked all the pucks off after Fleury, knocked them all off, got the barn going for warm-up. And then I thought something that was really cool. Fleury stays out right to the very end. And then Shea Theodore does his thing, shoots some pucks at him. Fleury headbutts one, and then he stands at the door while the clock counts down. And the barn, I know it's playoffs, but the barn was just going bananas, eh?
I like when they put the little flowers in front of his crease during the national anthem.
Yeah. I mean,
the national anthem, the lights come down, and obviously the Golden Knight symbol, NHL, and then in front of Fleury's crease, 4 little flowers. It's kind of badass.
It's badass. The MGM suite, thank you to them. If there's any big guys that love to go to Vegas, and if you want to go down there, and I would say stay at the MGM, gamble with them, and see if you can get tickets to this suite, because it's 3 full suites, blue line to blue line, basically. Food in one room, drinks in another, and then more food in the other one, and it's just sit where you want. And I mean, we got spoiled. It was unbelievable. Huh?
Silver Oak I was drinking.
Were you drinking Silver Oak?
I was drinking Silver Oak. I had coffee and Baileys.
I saw you having one. I didn't know that.
And Baileys, and then it just went straight to the Silver Oak.
You didn't tell me it was Silver Oak. I would have had a glass with you.
I didn't want your teeth to get too fucked up. I left that day. You stayed for another one. So
I was drinking margaritas in that fucking booth. Like
Skinny margs?
And the guy that, I don't know if this means you drink them fast, but the guy in there who's a beauty, I would finish it and I would look over and he'd already have it ready for me. He's like, I got it locked and loaded for you. I was like, you got me on the timer here, bud, or what? So MGM, that's sweet. Thank you for everything. Kelly, our host, he's a beauty. If you ever meet up with him, he's a beauty too. So on the other side, Uppy, my old Colorado Avalanche, We have game 5 tonight. We'll see how she goes. I'm a little concerned. I was talking to Kyle Keefe, being like, Kiefer didn't look good in Vegas. What did you think about their top line? Kudos to Vegas, or hey, McKinnon, Landy, Rantanen? I thought they were working hard. They just couldn't get anything going.
They just got outplayed everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like one shift after another. And I felt like when your fourth line is leading the charge for the Vegas Golden Knights, man, that feeds off to all your team. Like, it only helps your better players be like, man, we got our fourth line guys going. I say that because I was a fourth liner. I don't just say that because of that. But you could just tell the energy they all had. If the top guys went out and created chances, man, it was followed up by another line. When your top guys aren't going, Obes, it's so hard to get momentum in a game, especially in a visiting barn.
Yeah.
You can't just turn it on and turn it off. McKinnon, when we first got there on Friday, I didn't see him with the puck for the first 2 periods.
No kidding.
And then I think after the game, the coach basically, kind of called them out saying, our guys, we're not going to win this if our guys don't show up, if our top guys don't play.
He called that top line.
He did.
Now, I was shocked when you told me that, and I read it on social media. I was shocked, and I don't know. I just don't know if McKinnon, I don't know. I don't know if he's the type of guy that if you say, hey, I need more of you, or if he might just be like, oh, yeah, well, fuck you, bud. I don't know.
Yeah, fuck you, bud. I'm only making $6 million bucks. I should be making 14.
In game 4, he was worse than he was in game 3.
Yeah. Well, we'll see tonight.
We'll see tonight.
They're back home. They look like a totally different team playing at home to me.
Yeah.
That Vegas place is no joke, man. It's hard to go in there. That's why I'm glad that all year I've been saying the Vegas Golden Knights are a team.
Oh, you have been.
My team.
We've been arguing about it.
Even this year, this start of this series, I kind of switched over. I'm like, man, the Colorado Avalanche are playing some of the best hockey ever. They get Kadri back. They're
fucking Kadri. They miss him too.
They got one more game, right?
He can come back for game 7, I think. So he missed 1 in St. Louis. He's missed 5. So he's got 3 more.
You sure it was only 1 in St. Louis or 2? I think he hit the kid at home, didn't he? I think he hit the kid in game 2.
So he missed 2. He missed 2 against St. Louis.
So 2, and now it's 4. So he's got 2 more.
So he could be back for game 7. They miss him.
Well, you're gonna need him.
First of all, I forgot. I had the fourth line down here. On the Friday night when we were in the suite with just us boys, we were in the Palazzo one. And we all had money on it, and we were fucking. And I was getting into it probably too much. People would probably shut up, you big dummy. But I was like, put the puck to the net, put the puck to the net. Every time the fourth line came on, I'd be like, Uppy, fourth line, here comes the fourth line. And then when they did score the second and third one tied up, fuck your celebration. You almost fell out of the suite. We had to grab you. You almost fell out of the suite. So
maybe NBC got that. They might have had a ISO cam.
They might have. The one guy in the suite that was in there with us is, aren't you guys ex-NHL hockey players? Why are you so excited over this hockey game? I go, why do you think, buddy? We got money on it. So thank you to everybody. I can't wait for fucking game 5 tonight. Uppy, once again, you were first star in Vegas, baby. We will be going to the Stanley Cup Finals. We don't know where it is, but we're going to make an appearance there, and then that will be it for the live shows until next season.
Could it be Vegas? We'll see.
It could be Vegas. Thank you once again, Updogg. I love breaking it down with you. Let's bring in our boy.
Let's see how Scoops is doing. Let's see how he's looking, and then we'll talk to him and see how he's feeling.
See how he's doing. We'll be right back. Good life, Updogg. You got a shirt on. I've got the shirt, shorts, socks. You got the socks on. We're going to Vegas this weekend. I'm packing a bunch of good life shit. I got whites, blacks, baby blues, Henleys, you name it. I'm packing it.
You're packing some domes, I hope. Yeah, so am I. Not that obviously that, but I have a new order in the mail with our promo code Curfew20, baby. And I cannot wait. I got a little baby blue coming out.
I got a baby blue coming
I'm
going to
let the sun shine on the baby blue, new fresh tart from Good Life. We'll be buzzing around. I hope to be playing in the sports book, throwing it around on the card tables. Meeting fans of Missin Curfew in Vegas this weekend with you two boys. So, Scoopsy, what are you wearing this weekend?
What are you packing, Scoopsy?
Boys, this is perfect timing that we're going to Vegas because I just got the brand new tailored swimsuit in gray, and I can't wait to rock it at one of those pool parties. And you know what? They got a ton of new sun blended T-shirts, or I think they call them the tri-blend scallop V's. I got a couple of those coming. So you know what? I'm going to be looking fresh when I'm sitting out in Vegas by the pool.
Yeah, you are.
Can't wait, baby. Good Life will be rocking you in Vegas this weekend.
So visit goodlifeclothing.com. Missin Curfew's promo code is Curfew20. We thank you for your support. Good Life Clothing, baby.
Curfew 20. Welcome back to Missin Curfew.
With our boy Scoops on the other side. Here we go.
Oh, man. Broadway, Jimmy Scoops.
Boys. Talk about a long flight home. That was a long flight home for the big guy. The big guy is not happy with that flight.
I mean, listen, how are you feeling? Because I was lucky enough to be on a 40-minute flight home. And I got to be honest, halfway through I thought about you, bud. I'm like, he was on the 8 a.m. bird.
Oh, my God.
I was loving it. I get a text. How's everything going, Broadway? You feeling good? I'm like, I'm still sitting on this damn bird, man. I'm almost there, but it's part of the grind.
Hey, give the people the situation at the airport too, Jimmy. Because I just got it via text. I had already been home. I came home Sunday. Me and Matt Gall, we jumped on the bird on the way home Sunday night. You guys took her one more night, but let me know, like, just explain that morning at the airport.
Show up to the airport and you pull out the old-fashioned wallet and there's no ID or credit card in there. Well, thank God I had a paper copy on me, and I had a couple extra credit cards, but the two that were supposed to match up weren't there. So a little bit of talking to TSA.
That's when you need the team services guy to be like, what the fuck? Like, hey, where are you at? I need you. You're like, what? You're like, I lost my ID and my credit card. They're not letting me on the private bird, the team plane, right? You're like, well, no, this is actually in Vegas, and you need to have that stuff there.
It's a great point to our beauty listeners out there. Take a picture of your ID, your passport, whatever. Keep it in your phone, because it saved me too. There's been times where I lost my wallet, and I'm like, thank fuck.
And even if you're still hammered at the airport,
yeah,
it'll work. You must be a good talker.
What'd you say to them? Yeah.
No, I had like a paper copy because I got a new ID. So like the one I had was actually expired, but it was more just like, this paper copy ID better work or I'm not leaving. And the lady just looked at me. So I had to bring out like another like piece of like, I had like a health card, and I had an extra credit card. So I needed like a couple pieces of evidence that it was me. Did
you say, hey, I got 2 kids at home and I got to get home. I've been gone on a business trip. Did you use any of that, or how did you? Oh
yeah. The lady knew I was like kind of in like full panic mode. She helped me out. But if I didn't have this paper copy, boys, I'd still be there. That would not be good.
You are a fucking beauty.
Well, it's
man.
nice to have you home in your den there, shooting the shit with us, talking some hockey. It's nice to be back, boys.
Broadway, me and Updogg, we finished off before we brought you on about the whole Vegas experience. Just touch on it from your perspective now that, like Uppy said, you're home, you've had a good night's sleep. Fuck, it was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure was. And that barn, like I said, I remember one time, like I was scratched when we played there the one game, and I got to play there. But I was talking to the coach. I was like, I need to take this warm up, and just being on the ice during an NHL warm up, but then watching it in person, that energy with that crowd, they are electric fans. They could be up. They got to be top 5 in the league in fans. Everybody's having a good time. It was like a party. I remember, like, middle of the game, I looked at you over. I was like, this place is like a goddamn party. The music's bumping. People are fucking dancing. It was awesome.
Yeah, we were lit.
That Friday night game after we did our show. And remember, I yelled at you and Updogg to come look at the warm up, and then we made our way up to the suite. And then once I got in that suite in the third period, I was feeling good.
Yeah, you should. That's what we were there for. Feel good, play good, look good. I mean, it was all good.
What'd you think about the fans, Broadway, there? Just like how loud it fucking was for that warm up, and it was insane.
It's insane. Their fans, it's for a town that like might come across as, oh, how is this going to work out as a hockey team? I remember talking to Nighty. I mean, it helps when your team makes the playoffs every year and gives you a chance to win the cup. But like that town is, or those fans are taking that town by storm right now. And you can tell the support those guys have, and to be able to come back and win 2 games at home, put themselves right back in this series. That's going to be a tough place to win, especially if Vegas can keep moving forward. Like that's going to be very hard for Colorado to win. I think they'll win tonight, Tuesday, but to go back there and win on Thursday, that's going to be a tough thing to accomplish.
I bumped into a girl in the second game in the MGM suite. She had the cool jean jacket on with all the
the realtor?
I think her name was Elise or something.
Yep.
She was super cool, but she just talked about how that city, because in the playoffs there, you can't sell. If you buy your regular season tickets with with wanting to sell them during playoff time, it costs you more money. But if you want to get them for this price, you cannot sell them to another Colorado fan or sell them in period. So that's why I don't know if you guys noticed. I noticed after you said it, it was all Vegas fans. There was a couple Colorado jerseys, but it was all Vegas fans.
That's crazy. That would not be a good spot for my dad to do business, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, your old man couldn't be selling the tickets. And she said obviously the shooting was terrible, but how they rallied around that. I mean, she said the Vegas Golden Knights finally gave that something city to rally around, and you could tell that everybody in that building was fucking going squirrely.
Yeah, they've been like that since day one, Obes, and that's exactly why we go there with that attitude. That's why we set up shop to do our live show right in there. That team has energy. The fans are great. The organization itself has been top notch for 3 years, and it's great for the NHL, and it's great for playoff hockey.
And it's great that Broadway made her back to fucking Dorchester, buddy.
Yeah, he's back.
I was that's because it's an easy flight for us. So we thank you. Tell your wife, thank you for letting you fly 4 hours. For us, it was an easy 40-minute jaunt, so we appreciate you coming out. We'll do something for the finals, but that was great team building. So let's jump right into Boston Islanders. I got to be honest with you, boys. I was in and out of the game yesterday. I fucking had about 4 naps when I got home. But every time I got up, it was either Marchand scoring a sick goal or the fucking Islanders being the Islanders. But Scoopsy, give us your thoughts on yesterday's game and just moving into Game 6 now back at Nassau.
Let's touch on that goal though Marchand scored. That's one of the goals of the year. I couldn't believe it. He just absolutely walked that guy. Like, be able to, I don't know how those guys do it. Like, how do they get the puck, put it in these guys' sticks, and still find a way to stay on their feet and put it in the back of the net? But the big thing for me right now with Boston is Tuukka Rask. Hopefully this kid's not hurt, because if he's hurt, they're in trouble. I mean, this Swayman's really good, but to throw in, you're gonna need another Spencer Knight situation. I mean, that's hard enough. At least Spencer Knight was 4 or 5-0 in the regular season, but I think the Bruins they're in one. I think I do think they're gonna. I think it's gonna go 7 games. But for a team that has one of the best penalty kill during the regular season and 2 of the best penalty killers in the league in Marchand and Bergeron, their penalty kill right now is at 75%, and that's just not going to cut it right now in the playoffs.
I mean, they couldn't have had a better start. I mean, I turned that game on. I texted you boys. The place was fucking buzzing. Pasternak went one timer. I'm like, this is going to be a bloodbath for the fucking Islanders. Like, I thought it was going to be over right then, Broadway.
Yeah, no, but the Islanders, they just keep hanging around. They're a team that they're never out of the game. And the big thing for me right now with the Islanders is they're depth players. I mean, maybe not putting up big numbers like I thought they were, but they are just having way more bigger impact. Their bottom 6 is having a better impact than Boston's bottom 6 right now. And I know you want to touch on it, though, but I know you like some of those players down in Boston's bottom 6 right now, but they're just not doing it for me.
I love them. I love Nick Ritchie. I love Chris Wagner. I was surprised Jake DeBrusk got scratched. Curly I like, but I looked at their depth scoring, and Uppy, you say this all the time about to win come playoff time, your best players got to be your best players. And that perfection line has been unbelievable. And I think if they're going to come back, they need a guy, and Wagsy has it in him. Wagsy to get a greasy one, Nick Ritchie to get another one. I think Nick's got 1 goal. I love those guys. The physicality in this series has been beyond belief. The most physical series of the playoffs, maybe besides Tampa, Florida. But you were a depth guy.
Yeah,
they got to score.
Yeah, Johnny Michael Lyles said it too. I mean, I think he said you get in the playoffs by your top guys being your top guys, and then you win a Stanley Cup by your bottom 6 guys standing up and being effective and being guys that make things happen. And what the Islanders are doing, they're rolling. Barry Trotz has their team always, in a spot that they can either they're 1 goal down, they never get 2, 3 goals down. They always hang in a game. Like Jimmy said, they never go away. They're patient. They can bore you to death. But then when you give a guy like Barzal a fucking puck on the half wall, he's going to come down and zip it right by your head. And then it's, and then they feed off that. What Barzal's done in the last 3 games has absolutely fed fuel into the fire of the New York Islanders. And it's, it's tough now for Boston. Now they're down going back to that goddamn madhouse they call Nassau Coliseum. It's a shit show. They got their hands full.
Hey, great point by Barzal. Barzal, finally, he's fucking. Yeah. This guy fucks. And this guy, he may like taking his bucket off on TV timeouts as much as you do.
Ooh, and I don't know about that.
His
Princey,
hair,
find before he gets to the bench.
Find a couple clips, bud. Princey, do that.
His hair is Upshaw standards. I would like to see you and him have a hair off.
He'd probably beat me.
Well, maybe now, but I mean, I'm talking
Good-looking cat.
talking about your prime, buddy.
Yeah.
All right? Like, I'm talking. But I've noticed that in the games, Uppy, that the fucking first TV timeout, he's just like bucket off, slicking it back. But he's been, without him finally waking up, this series might have been over already, but he has awoken. Broadway, you bring up Tuukka. I want to bring up the back end on the Bees. They're banged up. Just your thoughts. Carlo, feel for the kid. He's out. They're playing their top four a lot. I mean, can they come back with just playing the top 4D? Or do they need more depth?
I think they need lots more depth, and it sucks to see a guy like Brandon Carlo take a hit like that because he's had some history in the past, and I thought he was starting to play really well. But the one thing I think Boston wouldn't mind right now is having big Zdeno Chara back in their lineup. He'd be a huge piece for them right now. A nice depth defenseman who plays hurt, or I should say never gets hurt, will play through anything. And I think right now that's where Boston is kind of getting a little bit outmatched. Like they don't have the experience back there, and you're banking on guys like Tenorti and Lazan to come in and win you games. And I think Boston's going to be very hard for them to do this. I hope to see Kevin Miller come back here in the next game, and I hope to see Brandon Carlo feel better and get a chance to play because he's a huge piece for the Boston Bruins.
What if they go ahead, Uppy?
I hope we are moving into this next fucking segment because
I got one thing I want to ask just real quick.
For it.
What about Zdeno Chara? I mean, would he not be looking pretty good back there right now? They didn't want to re-sign him. It was time to move on. You want the young kids. Well, hey, listen, Don Sweeney, I think he did a hell of a job, but I'll tell you right, I think fucking the big boy would be playing right now.
Yep.
He's not going to get hurt. He played with a fucking broken jaw.
He sure did.
Why? You know what, Broadway? Why? I think... You know, what do you think? You played with Big Z.
He would be huge for them right now, and that would be such a good piece. And they would. I know, like Big Z, he's a competitor. He wants to play every night in Boston and wants to play those young guys. Yeah, it's great for the young guys to get that experience during the regular season. But when you're a team like the Boston Bruins who are trying to win a Stanley Cup every single year, it seems like the last 5 to 6 years, you need that veteran experience, and they're missing it right now without Big Z.
I think he's too slow. I think he's still.
He gets it done, though. He gets it done.
Yes, he'd be good if guys are hurt, but without their guys being hurt, he's not in their lineup. He's not playing, and you
don't think he's a sixth defenseman?
Would he want to be a sixth defenseman? I don't know.
But, he
if he does, he still should just retire then. If he's ready to just sit on the bench like fucking a guy that doesn't play, then he should just retire because he's never been that guy. I don't think that's in his. I don't know. We'll see next year.
I thought he was a lot better this year than with playing for Washington. I thought he had a better year than expected for me. So that's why seeing him, I was like, shit, this guy can still play a little bit here. Yeah, I just think the Bruins would love to have him right now.
That's my point. Uppy, you're not wrong.
Let the kids play.
You're not wrong. And I thought Chara throughout the course of the playoffs in Washington, I didn't think he had a great series. But I was just sitting here thinking, and I actually talked to Broadway before the show, and I was like, fuck, if they would have re-signed Big Z right now, he 99% wouldn't be hurt, and he would give them stability in the back end. But you're right. He was too slow against the Boston Bruins. Yep. It was just something that I thought, which it fired you boys up, so it was a good debate. But he is too slow right now, Uppy. But I guarantee in Game 6, if they could have him dressed, Broadway, wouldn't be a bad thing.
No, it wouldn't be a bad thing at all. But like you said, he's not gonna wow you with the speed aspect. I just think he's gonna have the experience and bring the toughness, especially how physical the series has been with the Islanders. He'd be a nice piece to have in there. Add that a little bit of intimidation because I don't care who you are. Not many people want to be battling Zdeno Chara.
So switching strides, boys, and bringing a little of Las Vegas into the NHL and the entertainment. How about Pasternak's suits he's been showing up with? Because let's be honest, it's playoff time. A lot of eyes on you. You're coming down the fucking tunnel. I mean, you got the cameras. You're feeling fresh. Obie's talking about having good hair. It's time. That's the time to shine. What Pasta's been wearing, Jimmy Scoops, I don't know if he's been sneaking over to your house and grabbing some of your suits that I used to see you wear down in Miami. But man, it's pretty good. I love his shit. He's been really rocking some high quality fucking plaids and shit.
He loves his style up. He would be a guy that you'd get along with a lot when it comes off the ice because he's got some great taste and style, likes to have a good time, drives a sick car, and he still says he's got more suits up his sleeve, so I can't wait to see what this guy's got coming for these next couple games, especially if we can get to another Game 7 in Boston. I can only imagine what suit he'd be rocking for that game.
And you know what makes it even better is he's wearing these suits that absolutely fuck, which I know you love, and he's just fucking on the ice too. He's
nasty.
Bring up your point, what you talked about their top line and what he does.
Yeah, well, did we talk about that on air?
Did we? I'm not sure.
I don't know if I did, but anyway, Hazy.
Let's get Hazy's opinion on it.
I ISO-cammed Pasternak yesterday, and at the same time, I was ISO-camming the winning goal by Toffoli. Because I was like, all right, I was never that guy that had the patience to just let my line mates fucking do what they needed to do. If there's two guys on the puck in the corner or they're doing a give and go, I'm going to go just get lost. And by getting lost, I mean, I'm going to skate like right through the defenseman. I'm going to just like give a shimmy shake. And instead of like trying to help out my line mates by going like to the corner for an outlet or going to the front of the net, I'm just going to like beeline into open ice. And you see guys like Brett Hull do it. Ovechkin just stands over there most of the time. But Pasternak yesterday on his goal, and he did it again in the third period and almost scored again. But basically, he just gets lost. And for young kids out there who can shoot the puck and you play with good other players, learn to get lost. And look at what Toffoli did. He scored the biggest goal in Montreal's, in the last 20 years for the Montreal Canadiens by just getting lost and getting a puck right on his tape. Boom, it's in the back of the net. Pasternak, he's been doing it all year. Their line's called the perfection line because they all know where each other are and where they work. But it's something special. It's a true talent to be able to get lost on such a small little ice surface like that.
Yeah, and that's you just said it perfectly, Uppy, by calling it a talent. Because like you said, when I was first in the league, I would get the puck, dish it out on a 3-on-2, say you kick it out to the winger. I'm beelining to the front of the net, trying to bring the defenseman with me. Pasternak kind of does his little thing, gets lost, and then all of a sudden he's right there, backdoor, one-timer, goal. And the kid does it all the time. It's an unbelievable talent, and it's so impressive to watch Bergeron, Marchand, and Pasternak because they can almost play with their eyes closed because you feel like they know exactly where they're going to be at all times. It's tic-tac-toe, back of the net. And, I mean, we've seen some awesome passing plays throughout the playoffs this year. I think Aho had an awesome goal the other night with just a crazy pass. But it's insane how good these top-line players are, and it's a talent to be able to continually do it every single night. Because there's nights that he doesn't score, he still has 8 or 9 shots on net that could have been 2 or 3 goals.
The perfection line we talked about. I asked you in Vegas what Bergeron's like as a guy, and I was like, you were gonna give me like the fucking interview answer. I said, no, give it to me fucking straight. Is he fun? Is he good in the room? And you're like, no, he's a funny guy. He laughs, and the way he's been playing out there has been unbelievable. I mean, that line is. I mean, after watching McKinnon's line and Landeskog's line, Rantanen line in Vegas, right now they're the best line. Bergeron flipped the fucking puck over the glass. And I was like,
that doesn't happen.
That does not happen. That does not happen. So
that's missing a field goal. That's missing an extra point.
Vinatieri missing an extra point.
Yeah.
What did you think of that, Scoops? Because when I saw it, now granted I was a little foggy because I was like 4 naps in on my game, but I was like, did Bergeron just flip that over the fucking glass? Well, I mean, what were your thoughts on that?
It's shocking. It's just like a mental mistake that you just don't ever see to come out of a guy like that. And Bergeron, it just goes to show you he can be human. He makes a mistake and it is what it is. But to get back to your question when you ask him if he's a good guy and a fun guy.
No, you already answered it for me in Vegas. You don't have to answer it again.
Oh, no, but I was going to tell you one of the funny stories with them when we were in Scottsdale.
Okay. Yeah.
We're all at a club in Scottsdale and we're sitting there. I'm like, where the fuck is Bergeron? You get the bottles and like they got those little cars and like the people come out like the alien costumes doing the little dance moves. But all of a sudden the guy gets it, gives us the bottle, stands there for 5 minutes, starts keep shaking, dancing, doing all stupid shit. Next thing, takes his helmet off. Bam! It's Bergeron. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So we went in the back and fucking got all dressed up. It was unbelievable. But he's just a funny guy.
That's awesome. Speaking of boats, remember that fucking boat they brought out Sunday at that Encore Beach party?
Yeah, sure.
Like they got this fucking big boat and it's a hazard. Someone's going to die anyway. So they bring it by us. I'm like, all right, well, there it goes that way. And then when they're done with it, they bring it right back. I was like, Broadway, this is a pretty stupid idea. If you're going that way with it, there should be an exit over there too, right? And then you just these 3 girls almost fucking got killed by this boat.
So the girls are in there with all the champagne.
They're in there with the champagne.
Yeah.
They're fucking going. Shout out to your boy. What's his name?
Jordan Greenfield. Awesome.
Jordan Greenfield. This guy set it up to bring out the missing curfew signs. But before then, this boat comes out filled with girls and champagne. And it's like a pretty big boat. And these guys are pulling it. And then they bring it back down. And it's like the exit's like that. And these girls are standing there. They almost get run over. I had to jump out of the way. So it was a bit of a hazard, didn't you think?
Oh, 100%. People are pinned all around there, so it's like, what's going on?
I said to the one guy, I go, you guys might want to rewrite the fucking route here, boys. If you're going that way, I say just keep going that way.
They
So
said, they signed the waiver.
they signed the waiver. Broadway, Jake DeBrusk scratched in game 5. I know he hasn't been filling the net, but I like this kid. Do we see him back in the lineup for game 6? What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I do think Jake DeBrusk will be back, but Jake DeBrusk to me has been pretty disappointing player for the Bruins this playoffs. I thought right at the beginning he was back, he was ready to shove it up everyone's ass. Almost kind of reminded me of like a Brian Bickle who kind of just takes the regular season off and then all of a sudden just unbelievable in the playoffs. I just think DeBrusk is, I don't know if he's fighting it, if he's nervous. It just, which is crazy to me, it just doesn't seem like he's interested and into it. He's not producing. So if you're going to take the regular season off, you better show up for the playoffs. And he's not showing up right now. And I think this scratch is like the final straw here in Boston. Like you got to come out ready to play, or there could be some moves coming in the offseason.
Crazy. Good young player, man.
Fuck, I like his game.
They're a better team when
Someone
he's going.
else will want him, but
if
I like
he's not
it when
going,
he's playing well.
Yeah.
Playing well, it's great.
Yeah,
He's
no,
been
you're
lost.
entitled to your opinion. That's true. I like his game. I agree. He hasn't been playing that great, but I guess it just proves if a guy likes you as a coach, I wouldn't scratch him, right? He probably should be scratched, but I like him, so you don't scratch him. But these other guys, they would get scratched because, I mean, I've been through it.
Some guys' leashes are not
longer
that
than
long.
others.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to bring up these fucking watch parties. This Frank Borelli, this Islanders guy. This fucking guy, first of all, his restaurant, Borelli's, wherever it is in Long Island or whatever, his old man's a fucking beauty. Then he comes into Boston and watches it with R.A., Biz, Witt, and that's been, I mean, when the picture of him by himself at that bar, Hurricanes, and he's sitting like this, I mean, if the Islanders get done, I'm going to try to reach out to them. I don't know him. Do you know that Frank Borelli? Because he's a fucking beauty.
Yeah, I know him. He's a great kid, and it's just so funny to see him come into Boston, lone soldier too.
Lone soldier with his one. He wears the same Islanders fucking shirt to every game, or every game he watches. And Grinelli and the boys were just giving it to him, and he's just sitting there like that.
Yeah, it was. I gave him credit. That takes a lot of balls to come into Boston. And then I remember when they scored, it almost he got up and gave the fucking birds to all of Boston, and I was like,
he was giving it to every. He was giving it to every one of them.
But yeah, he's got some great energy, and pretty cool story though with like his dad's restaurant. I think it's right outside the arena there, and they do a hell of a job. And the atmosphere on that rink and that restaurant seems like a hell of a time.
I'll tell you what, it's been a physical series. It's been an unbelievable series. I took the Islanders. I think they're going to get it done, especially if Rask is hurt. But to both these teams, it's been fun to watch. To Grinelli and Barella and all those spit and chickless guys, that stuff's been fun to watch too. So it's just been a great series. Broadway, top titty this week. What's going on with it, baby? What are you feeling? You got a lock tonight? I mean, just tell me that our fans are going to be here, but I'm on the Hurricanes and you're on the Avs as well?
Yep, the Carolina, Colorado parlay for tonight, and then Wednesday night I do like Boston because I think that game was going Game 7.
You're betting with your fucking heart again, aren't you? You're
sure
betting
am.
You cannot help yourself. You cannot not bet with your heart.
And I think
you think if Tuukka Rask is not playing that they're going to win Game 6 in fucking Long Island. You do, huh?
If he's not playing, the bet will be changed. But he's definitely going to be playing. There's no way he's not playing. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised on Thursday to see Tampa close out the series if they don't close it out tonight. And I think Vegas wins again in Vegas. I think that game's going to go to Game 7, and I think Boston and the Islanders going Game 7, which kind of leaves our top titty league up in the air because the only way we're getting a game this Friday is a Game 7, Boston, New York Islanders. So we got to kind of hope for that to keep this top titty going.
Fuck, I want a game in the top titty, but I also want the fucking Islanders to win that series. It could go 7. It could very well.
It would be nice.
Yeah, I think Avalanche Vegas is going 7. Yes. I think Avs win tonight, Vegas wins Game 6, and then flip a coin for Game 7, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You would think so. Colorado is a different team at home, and I like you, I'm going to pick the Colorado Avalanche right now.
I'm going to go home watch it right now.
Got to log into DraftKings.
Broadway, guess who I saw when I was getting my IV this morning? Your golf guy, Freddie Boom Couples was in my IV room.
Was he getting one too?
Oh, yeah, but he was getting one because he played in the Champions Tour event. He's got another one next week in Wisconsin, Steve Strickers. He's like, yeah, I got my body's hurt, and I got to get ready for Strickers' event in Milwaukee next weekend. Why are you in here? I'm like, me and Uppy and the Missin Curfew crew went to Vegas for Game 3 and 4. He's like, of course you did. Top Titty Broadway, who was the big winner last Friday when the boys were fucking riding in limos all over Vegas?
The boys were riding in limos. You two forgot to put your lineup in, so you gave this
fuck, we did.
I reserved it. I sat my fucking seat at the game and I looked and I'm like, who's my guys? Oh my God. And then you're like, Jimmy, it was in warm-ups. I remember I'm like, Jimmy, I'm going to put in my team because I missed the first game. You're like, yeah, you can still do it. Sure enough, nope. You had to get him in by the first game. That was my bad. I messed it up big time.
Does that mean I get fined again?
We get fined again.
Again?
Then you won your bet. Remember we made that bet with the Canada-US game of bottle Camus, and I lost that one.
I got her back again.
We're back to even, so we're back to even, boys. I should have reminded you. I don't think you remember.
Yeah, I forgot.
Hey, this Top Titty League is a lot like my fucking NHL career. I'm getting fined every other fucking week here.
Sure are.
Broadway.
But let's give a shout out. Z Labs was the winner with 124.3 points. And you know what? His big play this week was Carey Price. He was the top performer this week, had over 31 points. And, we both had some similar players, and he had Cale Makar. Cale Makar is a guy that's a staple in the Top Titty. He's always unbelievable. And then Max Pacioretty, who I think has been unbelievable for the Vegas Golden Knights since coming back in that game 7 in the first round. He had 1 goal on Friday and 8 shots on net. And I felt like Vegas had the puck both games that we were there in Vegas.
Was Marcia Show on his team Friday night? Because I felt like
that was Sunday night. Marcia Show had the big night.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
So who else was on his team Friday night, Broadway? You got it there?
Yeah, it was Cale Makar. He had Marcia Show, but Marcia Show wasn't his big guy. The Carey Price was, and then I always screw up his name, so you guys are gonna laugh too. Is it that Kokalainen, the young kid, the
Kokalainen?
Kokalainen, Finnish kid.
Yeah, he's stepped up his play big time, and he's another guy he had on his roster. So shout out to Z Lebs for taking it down this week, and you two.
Lebsy.
You two are going to have to make sure you get your lineup in this week if there's a match.
DraftKings Top Titties, taking them down.
I got fined again. What's my fine? I got to get fined. I didn't get my team out. I think Uppy, maybe you let him off the hook because his team was reserved. My team wasn't even reserved. I flat out forgot. Boys. But, I was at the fucking game, Scoopsy, so I think if we did a kangaroo court here, I'm pleading my case.
You get a participation medal. You're at the fucking game.
And you brought some great energy at the game, so you're good in my book. I'm just, you're just making it easier on the guys you're playing against. You're a champ. You're a guy that's won one of these things. These guys want to play against you.
I do have a win. So, Top Titty, I would say Carey Price moving forward in the semis is a good guy to get in there. That guy is Broadway. That guy's
7-0, boys. 7-0 in his
now.
last 7. He's breaking records. So are the Montreal Canadiens. They still haven't been down in the better part of 4.5 hours.
Almost like 500 minutes, right? Up here,
4 hours.
Crazy.
He's breaking records.
400 and something minutes, not just 4 hours.
400 something minutes, right? It's insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
He's breaking records and breaking hearts up there. The fucking Winnipeg Jets and Toronto Maple Leafs. What do you think those boys in Winnipeg are doing right now after they got swept by the Canadiens?
I don't think they're in Winnipeg anymore.
No, I mean the fans of Winnipeg.
Oh, yeah, it's tough.
I thought you meant the guys on their team. They're probably on a bird to Miami.
Well, I guess they are. So, Scoopsy, we really appreciate you coming out and supporting the squad. We're happy you made it home, baby. We got an unbelievable guest coming up. This guy didn't want to come on throughout the regular season, which I don't blame him. And he's still a little gun shy because he's UFA. But
handsome fella, though.
Our boy Tyson Barrie. Uppy, I love you. Broadway, I love you. What a weekend, boys. Tyson Barrie. Updogg Scoopsy Cannadips Crop-tober giveaway. All I know is I brought about 12 tins of fucking lip boomers to Vegas. And thank God I had one left for the short 40-minute flight home. I was fucking chomping lip boomers at the table, at the game, and maybe a few other places I can't tell you.
I don't know what's worse, losing all your Cannadips tins or losing all your money, because both would suck.
Both was tough. I did both, so.
I know. Cannadips, these boys, they have a launch Crop-tober giveaway, boys, and it will go for 8 weeks. Every 2 weeks with a new winner. 4 total winners and 1 winner chosen by their best Instagram photo with the hashtag Crop-tober2021.
That's unreal. All 5 winners get a +1. So all 10 consumers come to Humboldt, October 15th to 18th Up, you're going to like this. All expenses paid. Bummer. Only U.S. entries.
I don't mind free trips,
I
fella.
love free trips.
Especially if there's a bird
best
involved
free
and you're
trips.
going up to Humboldt County. It's beautiful up there.
Day one, insane behind-the-scenes marijuana farm tours. I might be stuffing a little bit of that in my pocket when I leave. Super behind the scenes and a private concert that night. Day two, Updogg, Scoopsy, redwoods, rivers, up, and I know you love this, beaches.
Beaches. Who doesn't love beaches? Come on.
Let's get everyone to go to Cannadipscbd.com/Crop-tober or go to Cannadips on Instagram and link in the bio to enter to win this crazy giveaway that Cannadips has given us for Crop-tober.
You're crazy not to do it. Let's go. Cannadipscbd.com.
Hashtag Crop-tober 2021. Welcome back to Mission Curfew. Updogg, Scoopsy. One of these boys. I actually asked this beauty to come on throughout the course of the season. He said, hey, Obes, listen, I'm going to focus on playing hockey. I love the pod. I'll be on the off season. And he made the right decision because we all know the fucking year he had.
And talk about playing hockey.
So,
He
hey,
played some good
Talk about
good
being a
hockey.
pro. Tyson Bears, 610 matches. What's up, Bears?
How we doing, fellas?
610
Hey,
matches ain't so
That
bad.
brings a little tear to my eye.
600, man.
That brings a little tear to my eye.
It's
getting
beautiful.
up there.
Once you
Yeah,
get to
it's
600,
getting
you
there.
get
It'll sneak
you get
up
that
on
leather
you.
jacket. Sorry, I'm talking over him. I shouldn't.
that's okay.
He's too good of a guy to talk over. Shouldn't do that. 610 matches though, you get that leather jacket from the PA, don't you?
400 games you do.
Oh,
I don't even know. Do they still give out shit in the NHL?
I don't think
Bears?
I haven't got a leather jacket.
He
I don't
hasn't
know.
seen that thing.
Hey, Bears, it brings a tear to my eye because I remember when you'd get called up and you'd talk about Stefan Elliott because they were giving him every opportunity, and I'd be like, Bears, don't worry. This kid is fucking not as good as you. And I hate to say I told you so, but where's Stefan Elliott playing? Anyone heard of him lately? Where's he nowadays?
He was in Wilkes-Barre with me at one point.
He's carving out a nice little career run over to Europe for a bit. Just had a baby, so
Yeah.
Steph's
No.
all good.
He's not quarterbacking the best PP in the league.
No,
though, is
he didn't have Bears' like swag and ability to like move like side to side. But what he did have Bears is you could say he could shoot the puck. That guy, huh?
He could
Sure,
fire it.
He would like get to walk to the
Good
middle.
wrister.
Good twisted wrister. So,
Yeah.
Bears, thanks for coming on, buddy. I know it's a big off season for you here, so we're not going to get you in any trouble. We just want to catch up with you. Where are you at right now, fella?
I'm out in Victoria, BC, just hanging on the island for about a week here, and then I'll be down to Denver.
Oh, God's country. Yeah, I saw the clip actually of you. I don't know. I was in Vegas over the weekend, which we'll get into, but you almost got attacked by a bald eagle or something, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, if you're watching my Instagram clips while you're in Vegas, you're doing something wrong down there. Just laying in your hotel room.
He's staring at the ceiling.
Hey,
He can't sleep.
When I couldn't sleep at 7 a.m, I think it came through my feed, fella.
Yeah, I was up. I went up to Tofino for a week and kind of get off the grid. It's a beautiful little spot up island, and Willie Mitchell's out there and hung out with him, had some dinners,
Oh,
and
Mitchie, babe.
he's running a pretty good operation at the marina. So
He's got a
you guys
restaurant
can
there,
go
right?
Check that out. What's that?
He's got a nice restaurant up there, right?
Beautiful. Yeah, he owns the marina and he's got a couple restaurants and
Wow.
really nice program up there. But took us out on the boat and just threw a fish on the back of the boat, and this thing was probably like 6 feet wingspan, just came flying, almost took my head off.
I saw that. I was like, Bears heads. It felt like back in our play day. I was like, Bears heads, that fucking thing. Hey, we're on the same page because I had Willie Mitchell written down. He's just doing full on fish charters up there, right?
Yeah. Well, he's running the hotel marina. They've got the restaurant, so he's kind of doing a lot of things, and then a lot of adventures out on the water, fishing. You go see some bears, drop some crab traps, that sort of thing.
He's not just got a restaurant up there. He brought the guys from Hawksworth, right, up there? Didn't
Yeah,
he bring
it's,
the best chef in Vancouver
Yeah.
up there to start a
Yeah.
restaurant? And then it's a full-on come in, get wined and dined. Does anyone love their red wine more than Willie Mitchell?
Does anyone love fucking red wine sitting on the bird and shooting the shit more than Willie Mitchell?
I
or
don't
what?
think
That guy fucking, hey, he could take a 4-hour flight and make it feel like about an hour, hey?
I just loved it. He's all about the red French burgundies is what he loves.
He's a
I think
good
the
team
guy's
guy.
got more of that,
Yeah,
more
he's into
collection of that.
He's into the French whites, the Chablis right now, so
Wow.
he's nothing's changed much up there. He's still running the same program. He's a heck of a man, old Willie Mitchell.
I love Mitchie, and I actually sent him I don't know why I DM'd him, but I said something on a Vancouver radio station with Dan and Randeep about how like Kessel and Burrows back in the day would get Iggy fired up, and then Mitchie would have to fight him, and Mitchie would get pumped by him, and then I DM'd him, and he fucking iced me where it said scene. So I don't know if like, hey Mitchie, babe, I didn't mean it like that. I was chirping Kess and Burr, not really him. So I don't know. I hope he's not mad at me because I love Willie Mitchell Bears.
I'll have to check in with him. Make sure you guys.
Yeah, fire him a text for me.
Let's just go up and see him if Canada opens up their borders. Let's just go catch some fish and take her.
Whenever we can go to BC.
I'd love to see a bird try to take you off a boat. You would wreck that thing. If a bird came flying down at you, you might just turnbuckle that thing.
That would be a no-brainer trip to head up there for you guys.
What I'm weighing right now, it's going to take more than a fucking bird to knock me
out.
Totally.
I'm right behind you, Obes.
I tell you what, Bears, if I drink enough, I'll follow the boat on my own probably. So, Bears, I got to ask you about, we were in Vegas. Your old man, Len Barry, he likes to like the Vegas trips, didn't he?
Yeah. He didn't mind heading to Vegas for a couple nights, no doubt.
How's he doing?
Lenny's great. He's down in Scottsdale.
Another great
my mom just hanging down there, hitting happy hours, and he's following what I'm doing pretty closely. So still talk to him after every game, and I think he thinks he's my agent. He's making all the calls. So
he loves it. So Lenny would end up back with Bears when Bears and me had played in Denver. Lenny would end up back at my place after the bar and every now and then or whatever for a drink after the game. And
yeah.
I always had to bring up, like, fuck, Lenny, you traded me to Tampa. Like, why'd you trade me? The one night I asked him finally, I don't know if Bears remember this, but I asked him, I said, Lenny, like, what? He's like, fuck, you're drinking too much.
Yeah.
I'm like, I saw you out every night. He's like, exactly. You saw the owner out every night. I'm like, that's actually a good point. So he's a beauty, though, Bears.
Oh, yeah. He's one of a kind. Big personality on him. Not afraid to kind of call it how it is. And you can tip him back.
So did he have a hard time? How did he handle with not being able to go watch you play? Because as I said in Denver, man, he didn't miss many games. Was it hard for him just watching you on the tube?
Yeah, I think it's probably. I think he really would have liked to have got down to Edmonton this year and check it out. But he was certainly dialed in on every game, and he's my biggest fan, maybe next to my grandma. But he'll be ready to go. I think he's fired up to see the fans back, and he's watching every single playoff game. So he's loving it.
Why is Canada so slow right now to get back to the full capacities and stuff? Is it just they're so far behind in the vaccinations and whatnot?
You want me to break this whole thing down for you here?
It just sucks watching a game in Vegas.
For sure. Yeah. And they're getting there. They're rolling them out. Most people are getting their first dose now and getting some second doses out. But it's
that's just brutal for that whole year. Like you go to these games in Vegas and you see the building, and then you go and watch a game on TV, and you're like, "Fuck, how did these poor kids do this?"
It was tough. Like game one, like we were so hyped up in the room before your playoff game one. Everyone's like jazzed up, and for whatever reason, I don't know why I thought it would feel different, but we get out there and it's just like. I don't know why I was expecting rally towels and the whole thing.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't that. It was a bit disappointing, but it is what it is. I guess we were lucky to get to play it all this year. So
especially if you're a guy that's never played in Florida or in Phoenix. Like when I played in Phoenix, it was just like every other day. We'd be like, hey, let's just take advantage of this. These guys are going to be so bored that there's only like 5,000 fans in here. Let's just go out and kick the shit out of them.
You're like, boys, we're going to catch them sleeping tonight. Let's jump all over them.
They're all waiting to go to Old Town. Let's just take advantage of this. And I feel like, down the stretch, it had to have been like that for you guys. Just as exciting of a team as you guys were and exciting like Toronto. I mean, you just had to find a way to get your own energy going, especially come playoff time.
It was
crazy.
It was brutal. I watched the whole series for you guys, and it was awful. But Bears, let's talk about your regular season, buddy. I had Kenny Holland on before you guys started your round against Winnipeg, and I brought you up. I said, hey, you brought in Tyson Barrie. We all know what happened in Toronto. You led the league in D scoring, man. I mean, that's fucking unbelievable, Bears. I knew it had you in you. He had nothing but great things to say about you as a kid, as a teammate. Just talk about how it feels for you to lead the league in D scoring, man.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. I've had some good years in the past, and being close. One year I broke my hand, and but certainly I wouldn't have imagined this when I was a kid. But I mean it definitely it certainly helps playing on that power play and getting to go on the ice with 97 and 29 every night. So super cool. I'm glad I kind of pulled it out there at the end, but it kind of it doesn't mean a whole lot when you get swept in the first round. So.
We're not gonna. Let's not talk about.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about the fucking sweep.
Screw the playoffs.
Don't bring the sweep up. We don't want to talk about the sweep.
Hey, I want to ask. I just want to ask you because I've skated with Connor. I skated with Leon in the summer. What is it like?
Can I ask one thing real quick?
Oh yeah.
Did you have a bonus for leading the league and D-scoring in your contract or anything? Did you get that?
No, they don't work those in there. I think that's
entry
you
level.
should do that when you're a little older, but.
Okay. Sorry.
Did you have any bonuses for anything?
I wish I had a healthy scratch bonus.
How many kills?
I wish I had a healthy scratch bonus.
Hey, I had 5 kills this month. That's an extra couple of 50,000.
I joked with my agent the one year. I'm like, can we put a healthy scratch clause in there? Like, the more they scratch me, the more they got to pay me, because maybe that'll keep me in the lineup. Fuck.
I just wanted to talk about when you play with guys like that, and you all think on like such a different level than most of us, especially like a guy that was a grinder down the stretch, or Obes, who was just throwing backhand sauce D to D.
Pizza's out there.
But like, what kind of things does he, when you guys sit down and talk about PP or making plays, like I always look at a D-man playing with those two guys as you just got to make a good first pass, and you always have to be just available when they bring it in the zone. Just be open, because they're going to make plays. They're going to fit. What kind of things does like Connor come and like in between periods say, hey, Bears, let's just like tonight we're going to do this. Like anything that like stands out with the way these guys think, just on their it's such a different level.
Yeah, I mean they're at such a different level than the majority of the league. So you just try to, like you mentioned, you try to break the puck out quick, get it to them in a good position, come through with speed, and then once it enters the zone, I'm always trying to join and be that fourth man, give them an option. If Connor doesn't roast someone wide, you can always pull up. But I mean, in the zone, you're just trying to read off them, and they're they have possession so much. You got to make the right read when they're coming up the wall. Are you pulling to the middle? Are you kind of scissoring down to open up some space? It's there's a lot that goes into it, but I mean it's such an easy gig for me to be able to be out there with them, and I love to get humming in the ozone too. So it's nice getting out there and just you try not to run into them or get in their way, and then when they find you open for a 1T, you just got to let her go.
No, I think it's kudos to you, because you got to think on a level that you have to be an offensive guy. You can't just be a guy that's, just sitting back or not like playing on your toes. You always got to be playing one play ahead. And I think it's, for you to be a right-hand shot, to play with a couple lefties like that as forwards, it complements you so well. So I think you can fit in any sort of PP when you have a guy like, when you're a lefty controlled play. I just think it's great.
I mean, Bears, you're being a little modest. I watched you play a lot this year because of Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, but you two, you get on the puck in the right situations, and obviously he makes himself available. But I got to ask you a question. Practicing against this fucking guy. Are you the veteran? Are you the veteran in the lineup that sees this line coming and being like, hey, I don't know a young kid or team, but hey, go ahead. You got this 2-on-1, or do you
Harris, here you go, bud.
Yeah.
I think I would be, but I'm partners with Nursey, and Nursey wants it bad. This guy, he's like, he wants it. He wants to shut him down in practice. So I'm like, all right, we're doing it again. We do this drill. It's like the 2-on-2 times 2. It's like, it's horrible.
The Dave Tippett special.
Yeah, we had me and Nursey were hemmed in for like 3 minutes on the second time through with Connor, and I was like, when you're spit, like you can taste the blood, and my legs are shutting down. I'm like,
God.
Yeah, they're I mean, him and Leon they're so creative and passionate, and they're kind of, they're always working on their game, and they're not taking it easy on you. So, I didn't really enjoy that part of it, but Nursey's my guy, and he wanted it, so I'm, I got to do it.
Yeah, it just reminded me of the Sedins when I practiced against them. And like when I first started practicing against them, they would roast me. And by the end of my second year, they would still roast me pretty good. But I knew their tendencies, and then I played them in the playoffs in Nashville. And I wasn't out there against them, but I was like giving them scouting reports to Webbs. Like, Webbs, don't go there. They want you to go there. So, Bears, before I turn over to Broadway, I want to ask you about, I was impressed with your defensive play this year, fella. I thought your gap control, the way you defended the rush, the smart plays you made in the corner. Do you think you made strides defensively? Because you've always been known as an offensive guy. To lead the league is amazing. But I think your D game came a long way.
Yeah, I think it's something I've been working at. And, as an offensive guy, you're gonna take some chances. You're going to make some plays that don't work. But, I've always, prided myself in not just being one-dimensional, and not the biggest guy, not the most physical guy. So you got to do it the right way, like you said, with a good gap, good skating, good stick, and always trying to make strides in that department. And I think, wasn't too bad this year, so we'll take it.
Bears, I just wanted to touch back. Like when your first year, you work your ass off, you get yourself into the National League, and then boom, you look across the room and you're paired with number 5 Shane O'Brien. How was it playing with him early on and having him as a teammate?
Man, it was. I think it was a blessing. He was such a wagon in the room. It was hilarious. I just sit there, listen to him, tell his stories and everything. And he kind of took me under his wing. And we had Big Ryan O'Byrne was there too, and they were boys. So
Big Sexy.
I had a good little crew on the back end to look after me. And Obes was hilarious. He was never like in prac. He would fire the hardest passes, and then in the game he'd get it, and then instead of going firing one hard, he'd go backhand through the middle sauce, ticked off. Like it was incredible.
Ticked off.
No, I remember one time, like one of my first games. I think we were, maybe Columbus. I can't remember where we were playing, but he was telling me, he's like, Bears, hey, slide it over to me, kid. Hey, slide it over me on the blue. So I got when I fired it over to him. He threw like a wrister. It hit I think it hit the end wall, bounced off his skate, and I think Kobasu might be touching it or something. He goes, Bears, what I tell you, hey kid, get it over, bud?
Hey, it was Toronto. We scored, right?
Yeah.
It was Toronto. You threw it over to me. I threw like this little muffin down low, came out front, and Mago, the little French fuck, was right there. Like, put it in. I was like, told you, Bear, slide over.
I know he was. I think he had like 3 points or something at that point, and he was telling me to slide it over.
I was struggling. I mean, that year, was that the lockout year?
Like yeah, the lockout or the year before, I can't remember.
I think it was the lockout year. What was the one time they called you up and you were playing with me, and we were in Edmonton in the old barn? And our D coach, it was David Quinn, because I fucking hate this guy. You played for Quinn there, right?
Yeah, I had Quinny in the minors, and then in Colorado.
In Colorado. So Quinner, him and Sacco were always like, make the safe play, Bears. Make the safe play, up the wall. And then maybe this wasn't right by me, but I'm like, fuck that, Bears. We're going D to D, all right? You go D to D to me. I'm going to go up. You come underneath, and I'm going to sauce it back to you. So we're in Edmonton, and Bears is trying to make the right play, right? And who is my loudmouth, I'm like, Bears, D to D. So he kind of fucking fumble fucks and slides it over. And I can't remember exactly. Prince, you'll find the clip, but it hits Ryan Smith's stick, and I'm flat-footed now underneath him. And here comes Alex Hemsky, Bears. He fucking inside out past Farley, and the rest of the night I was right like this. Grocery stick, chin strap undone. So it was great.
Yeah, I put you in the soup there. I want to see that clip. I haven't watched in a while, but you were on the top 10 the entire year.
I was on the top 10 the entire year.
That was my bad.
Oh yeah. It's the worst I ever got walked.
Oh.
Hey Bears, who's you ever been a music guy in the dressing room? I know you're a big music fan. I know you got you're tight with a bunch of.
I was a music guy for like 3 or 4 years in Colorado, and just really a thankless job. But once I got traded to Toronto, I went in and they already had somebody, and I was like, it was kind of a blessing because you can only do it for so long. But I like to take over the morning tunes more so than the pregame tunes,
I agree. It's so hard to make everyone happy before the game. It's impossible.
Who's running the tunes in Toronto?
Big Tony, Marner. I would say Marnes mostly though, and then kind of whoever. I mean, they were big rap guys, so kind of like Drake, Young Thug.
Right up mine. I'd love to play for that team. Fuck, I gotta get on that team.
Yeah.
I always thought morning tunes were more important to me than pregame tunes, because pregame tunes, a lot of guy, you go to your warm up, you got your thing in. Morning tunes are important, especially on the game day or practice day. Get the boys feeling good, Bears.
100%. I think it kind of gets you in the right mindset, mellows you out a little bit. You get some good tunes going. Like I think it was like, I've never seen anything like it. Like this year I went in and we were listening to like Slipknot and like, I don't even know, like the most outrageous, and there's a time and a place for that. Don't get me wrong. Like, but it was the most outrageous tunes in the morning. Like, and I was like, hey, what's going on here? And he's like, oh, the trainer's like, it's just my Spotify. But I don't even know. He was using like a radio app or something. And I'm like, man, like, can we get Spotify? And we'll just like I'll throw on a radio.
Only in Edmonton.
We'll get this thing going. I put it on and guys are like, I had like probably 5 or 6 guys like, hey, whose tunes are these? Like, this is life changing. I'm like, I don't know. Anything's better than what you guys had going.
That's a big like issue. That's something, that needs to be addressed. And I'm glad you addressed that. It'll probably turn the boys around. That's why you guys had such a good regular season.
He's got a couple good radios on Spotify now that could take him a long way. So,
what do you got? What do you got lined up to see live this summer? I mean, I know you're probably coming down to the U.S. at some point.
He's coming to Denver.
Coming to Denver. He's got the new pad in Denver.
Let's go to Red Rocks. What's going on in Red Rocks in August? Are the Lumineers playing? Are the Lumineers playing somewhere, Bears?
They're touring in 22, 22. But Goth Babe, this guy, he's an amazing artist. He's playing at Red Rocks, I think, back to back, maybe late August. You guys might have to
Goth Babe.
Goth Babe.
Write him down.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to see Rufus Del Sol. I'm making Flowers buy me tickets because he never buys anything.
Good luck with that.
And
good luck with that.
So they're doing 2 shows, the beginning or like second week in August. We'll let you know because you should come.
I'll pop up for one.
Yeah, we're making. I'm like, buddy, everyone that's bought a watch off you, get him a ticket to Rufus and like invite him out there. Be a nice touch. Red Rocks is the best.
Yeah, and Flowers, anytime you go to Vegas, don't be afraid to pull your credit card out once. Like, he didn't pull it out fucking once. I know, not even around. I'm like, play around for the boys.
I got a funny one about Flowers. We had we did our golf trip with like Sid and Nate and Brady. We do that every year, and we went down to we were at the Nobu and maybe Newport.
Malibu?
I think it was. No, it was the Nobu and Malibu, that new one.
Okay.
And we invited Flowers, and he came for dinner or whatever, and we had like the crispy tuna rice or one of those nice Toro like sashimis, and he was fucking. I think Sid was picking up the whole tab, and Flowers got his tuna, and he was like, "This is garbage." Like, wanted to send it back. He was all bitter about his free tuna. So like, Jesus, Flowers, like, fuck.
Hey, fucking, that's him in a nutshell right there. Like, oh, this place is shit.
Everything is just an act. It's just so like, God, Flowers. Anyway,
hey, Bears, you bring up the Avs, man, and I wasn't going to touch on it, but I want to now. Just Landy, man, you seen him growing up. He fought Shed in the first round. Like, what do you think of the way he plays nowadays? I know you didn't play against him this year, but man, he's a fucking beast out there.
Man, he's incredible. He's like, I mean, he's as good as they come. He's an incredible leader. He'll hit, he'll fight, he scores, and he's an amazing guy off the ice. I mean, I could talk all day about Landy. I think he's as good as they come. So, I mean, I'm rooting for those guys. It would have been tough if they hoisted it last year, but you know, I got a lot of good buddies on that team, and they got the right guy leading the charge there. So, I'm pulling for them.
Yeah, it's okay if they win it the next year. My boys in Anaheim won it my rookie year, and I had to leave town. I was living in Newport. I'm like, Loops, let's jump in your Bentley and go to Palm Springs because I cannot watch Predator Pairs and Getsy parade this fucking mug around Newport Beach. So, Bears, what about Nate McKinnon? Me and Uppy, we were at the games, game 3 and 4. I said earlier in the year that it's the best line I've ever seen in hockey. Give Vegas credit, they shut him down, but their head coach called out their top line. Is that something Nate would like or not like? I don't know the kid. Would that get him going? Because you can't chirp that kid. He's been so good all year.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much to get him going. So I'm sure he maybe had some words for Bedsy, and then he'll go out.
Yeah.
And, you know, he'll respond to it for sure. Any way you push him, he's no push necessary on him, but. Yeah, he'll probably go have a hat trick and then have some words for Bedsy after or something. It's he's an incredible player, and oh man, were they good this year?
They were unbelievable. How's he to fucking play against it? Because listen, as you know, Bears, you play with me. I'm not a big practice guy, especially early in the morning when we're doing drills down low. I'm like, is this necessary? We played him overnight. What was McKinnon like in practice? Because that guy, like, he's a bull.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bit of this. I find a lot of these. You know, a lot of these top guys, they take practice pretty seriously. I don't know.
All of them do. Bergeron, Marchand.
Sideways, but yeah, Nate was intense.
Well said, Bish.
Yeah, Nate was intense. He would, you know, every shot he was trying to score, he'd be running guys. You know, he'd fight guys, whatever. He's as intense as they come. But the first game we ever played him last year after I got traded, like first shift, they gave me the start in Colorado. Nate center ice, 30 seconds later, back of the net. Nate scored. I'm like, oh, that's what that feels like. He's such a bull out there.
Buddy, it's insane. So Lupul hasn't been watching much hockey, and we played about a month ago. And I'm like, hey, you want to come back to my house? And the Avs were playing in Phoenix. And I'm like, put the money on the Avalanche. She's like, yeah, they're really that good. And McKinnon Landeskog came out in the first period, and it was 4-0 before Phoenix even. I had a sweat going, like, just to see what you're saying, Bears. Like, the way they can come out and just dominate a game is insane.
They're fast, they're skilled, and they're huge.
Yeah.
I don't know what more you could do to. That's as good as the line gets, you know?
Yeah, and McKinnon's been the best playoff guys in the last 3 years. He's been the biggest performer
So was that Ronson
out there.
Yeah, Mikko's a big boy.
He's been, I think we just talked about it,
unbelievable.
17 straight games or something like that.
We always made fun of him because it kind of looked like he was going to like fall over and like fumble the puck, and then like he'd just put it off the joint and in, and you're like, Jesus, I thought he was
modern day Marian Hossa, I said.
Yeah, I'll be called him that in Phoenix.
Or just in
I don't
Vegas.
mind that comparison.
I mean, they're both bulldogs, and they hold on to the puck, and no one takes it off them. Probably a big ass on him.
Yeah, he's like got the yogs on him.
No. Well, Bears, we know your deal's up here, obviously. I mean, you don't got to tell us where you're going if you don't know where you're going. But if you do, make sure you let Jimmy Scoops know first. But I just wanted to touch on, like, you've got to experience kind of playing basically in the two biggest Canadian markets. And what is the difference, if there is any difference? And I know it's kind of hard for you because it's a kind of a COVID type year, but what was like the different like vibe and energy around those rooms?
Yeah, I mean, both good experiences. I think the one thing is like getting traded is different than signing somewhere. Yeah. I got traded to Toronto, and I was kind of worried. I didn't think it was going to be a great fit right off the hop, and turned out it wasn't. And so it kind of, maybe soured my taste of Toronto a little bit, but I certainly didn't play as well as I could have, and the fans certainly let me know. And so it was tough, but there's a lot of attention on that team. And obviously what happened this year, I felt bad for those guys. I thought they deserved better. And it's a great crew in Toronto. The, Matthews, Marner, Riley, they got a great group of guys there. And I think they're going to be fine. I know everyone's kind of freaking out in Leafland about it, but they'll break through. And but it was different than Edmonton. Edmonton, obviously I didn't get to really experience it. No fans in the building, no restaurants were open, the whole thing. So it was just kind of to the rink and back. But again, great group of guys, Dry and Connor and Nursey are great leadership crew there. And, another team that I know we got swept and, 3 overtime games, but that's we get one of those in overtime. We got a series, and, I think we could have done some damage this year. Obviously tough to say now, but looking back, good experience in both cities, and, would go back to either. And maybe obviously there's not a ton of room in Toronto now, but it was a good experience in both.
I stuck up for you guys about the play. I thought the back-to-back games in 3 and 4 was a fucking joke. Me and Uppy talked about it. We don't need to get into that, but I don't think that helped you guys. And you and Nursey played so many minutes, and Larson. But Bears, bring me back to, I remember talking to you with free agency and obviously with COVID, and just talk about, because I signed a lot of one-year deals. Talk about signing a one-year deal, obviously going to Edmonton. You bet on yourself, buddy, and I'm so proud that you did it. But what was your mindset? Because everything was pointing towards you getting a long-term contract, and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, I got to sign a one-year deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think the landscape last year for free agency was probably, the worst it's ever been. There was so much uncertainty. The cap stayed flat, that whole thing, and then coming off kind of an off year in Toronto, it was kind of a perfect storm. I definitely, had some more money on the table from other teams, but I knew if it wasn't going to be, a long-term, kind of fit for me, I was going to go short-term. And then it was all about opportunity and fit. And for me, once I kind of made up my mind on that, it wasn't really a competition. It was a no-brainer. I knew I was going to try to get to Edmonton and make whatever money they had work. So, I'm glad it worked out looking back, but it's a little nerve-wracking when you kind of go 1 year and on a prove yourself deal a little bit. And so grateful that it worked out, and I was grateful for the opportunity for sure.
Did you ever think on a 1 year deal, like, fuck, I can't get hurt? Like, I remember when I was on 1 year deal, I was like, well, you would have got back in the lineup if you got hurt. For me, if I got hurt, I was like, I might not get back in. But was that something in the back of your mind that you're like, I got to stay healthy here, or just go out and play and whatever?
It honestly didn't cross my mind, and maybe had we done this interview prior, if you mentioned it, maybe it would have been out there. But
I wouldn't have mentioned it before the season, but
yeah, I just played it like any other year and tried to took a couple games to kind of figure out where I fit in and what my role was, and get some chem going with those guys. But I wasn't super concerned about the injury. I've been, knock on wood, pretty healthy my whole career, so hopefully keep that going.
Broadway, you got anything else for Bears here before we let him go? You got anything left?
The one question I was going to ask is just kind of talk about Mike Smith and just how good he is at handling the puck, and like how much do you appreciate that as a defenseman? It's almost like you got a guy going back there for you, and you get to keep your offensive game focused that way.
I absolutely love the Smith dog. He's a beauty. Incredible with the puck. It makes such a difference when you just go and your job. You just go to the corners, and usually he'll hit the centerman, coming through the middle, or I don't know. It's crazy. You don't even have to go back to the biscuit. It just confuses them when you go try to get it.
No, you just go right. You just go. I had him in Tampa Bears. As soon as he got in the net, I was like, I'm just going right to the corner. You don't even go near him.
That's all you do. You go to the corner and he makes his play.
Some of the plays, though, in between periods, I'm like, Smitty, sick play, but can you tone her down a bit? You're making me look bad. You just went cross-ice sauce to video in full stride. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're shooting it harder than me, too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great dude, too. What a guy Smitty is. He's a competitor. He's 39 now, and I think, my opinion, Vezina caliber season. So.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's great in the room too, isn't he, Bears? I had Kenny Holland on when I talked to him about him too. He's Smitty for a goalie is so impactful in the room.
Oh, amazing. He's like, he's not a, he's so intense. He's always looking to go somebody on his own team, on the other team. He's ready to go at any time, but
he is.
He brings it every night, and he keeps young guys honest, and great sense of humor. Hell of a guy.
Bears, I'm proud of you. Uppy's proud. Everyone's proud of you, buddy. I'm so proud you had a good year. Good luck in UFA. If the Avalanche go to the finals, we'll be in Denver, so we'll let you know about that. Hopefully, I don't know if they're gonna get by Vegas after Game 3 and 4.
They might. We're coming up to play Cherry.
They're fine. It's momentum. They've lost 2 games. They'll be all right.
I agree. I hope you're right because I got some money on upside, hoping that's exactly what's going to happen, Bears. So, thank you, buddy. Good luck, and say hi to Lenny for me, will you?
Thanks for having me on, fellas. We'll catch you in Denver.
All right,
you bet.
Thank
See
you,
Bears.
See you, buddy.
Missin Curfew, fellas, Obes.
Here we
Jimmy
go.
Scoopski. The second round is in full swing, and the action increases from game to game. This is where contenders are separated from the pretenders, Jimmy Scoops. To give you some skin in the game, DraftKings will be offering free-to-play pools every day of the basketball playoffs, offering players a free shot at up to $10,000 in total prizes. That's up to $10,000, Obe Dizzle. I haven't called you that before.
I love it.
$10,000 in total prizes up for grabs each day. The best part of this, boys, is it's free to play.
If it's free, it's for me, Updogg.
Come now.
DraftKings free-to-play pools are easy to enter. Just download the DraftKings app, go to pools, and choose from a wide variety of free contests for an opportunity to win cash prizes. All you have to do is answer a handful of questions around what you think is going to happen during that day's basketball games and track your results throughout the evening. Questions will range from which team will hit the most threes to which team will score first. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience, Scoopsy.
Download the top-rated DraftKings app now and use promo code CurfewKings when you sign up to get your free shot at up to $10,000 in total prizes every day of the basketball playoffs. Head to DraftKings Pools page to get your shot at huge cash prizes. That's promo code CurfewKings for a limited time only at DraftKings.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for full details.
Updogg, Scoopsy, thank you to Tyson Barrie, Bears. I met him when he was a kid. He had a fucking couple trips through there. We were great. He had a
I
couple
guess
chirps.
so. You're his first D partner. Hazy, good point. I mean, that's special. For a kid to come on here, a kid that's played now 615 matches and to lead the league in scoring. I mean, it only took him 8 or 9 years. But Obie, you finally rubbed off on him for him to win the scoring title. It's great.
He's got a great sense of humor, as you can see there. And his one chirp was like, Obes, if you're looking at my Twitter in Vegas, I don't think you're doing the right things. I was like, that's a good chirp, but I got to come back for it. It was about 7 in the fucking morning, Bears. And I was staring at the ceiling. So fuck. What were your thoughts on him? You played against him, obviously, but never with him.
Yeah, no, I play against him. You can tell he's got that great energy and that sense of humor around him. And I love how he loved to be so involved in the locker room music, because I always appreciated a guy that has some good tunes going. And he makes a great point that sometimes those morning tunes are way more important than the pregame tunes.
Morning tunes are important, especially depending how you're feeling in there. You need something just to get me through the morning here. What did you think about country music in the morning?
I didn't actually mind it.
I didn't mind it. It's the only time I could actually want, because a
only
lot of guys
time I
like
liked
country.
You just got to make everyone happy, and it's tough. That's why it's an impossible job. It's a never satisfying job.
Yeah,
ever.
he said it's a thankless job, didn't he?
It's a thankless job.
Yeah,
well
exactly
said.
what he said.
And basically, before the match, like so many guys want, like you said, headphones, but they want different things. We would play the music in St. Louis from the time you sit on your bench, put your skates on. Like that's when our music would start to crank up, and we would play it right till you walked out of warmups. And it was like high octane, like dance tunes, maybe one hip hop song, whatever. But some teams shut their coaches come in and say shut it off at the 16. Or sorry, at like the 22 mark, right? So there's like 6 minutes of like silence where you talk about the game. But other coaches down the stretch, fuck it. Play it right till you walk out there. Go out there with energy. And that you need a guy that you kind of need a guy that knows how to DJ.
Absolutely. What did you guys think about the guys? It was more later in my career that wore their own headphones pregame right up to the...
We wouldn't let that happen.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that?
Not allowed. I saw
That's
some
exactly
kids,
how it should be.
Saw some guys in the minors do it, and I'd have to talk to them and be like, "You can't do that." I want to know. I want to talk to you. Like you know how I am, like talking before each game and busting balls. So you have your headphones in. Not a good look.
Not a good look. Tunes are important. Tunes are important in the hockey room. Tunes are important in Vegas. Tunes are important on the golf course. So, Bears, thank you. UFA, I hope you get paid, buddy. And when you do, I'll be texting you for a night out somewhere. Updogg, love you.
Always a pleasure.
First star in Vegas. Broadway, thanks for coming, buddy. You look good. Get an IV. That was Missin Curfew.
Losing all my innocence.